locate some of its employees. Chicago's former Main Post Office, including 1,300 workers, moving from its North Suburban headquarters campus. The Deerfield-based drugstore giant confirmed it will lease about 200,000 square feet in the aging building in the 400 block of West Van Buren, one day after the Tribune first reported that a deal was in the works. Walgreens Boots Alliance saying it will move into the massive riverfront building known as the old post office in the fall of 2019, but has assured its shareholders it will keep a majority of its employees at its Deerfield world headquarters. From books to bourbon, a pair of developers in Naperville want to turn that city's old library into a craft distillery. Derek Krause and Joe Rebine detailed their plan last week. Naperville's old Nichols Library is a city landmark, but it is set to become part of a new commercial residential building project in the city's burgeoning downtown. Illinois could be on the receiving end of $13 million for new election technology for better safeguards. Election managers from across the state are due in Bloomington early next week for a training session that focuses on protecting the state's election information technology. Matt Dietrich with the Illinois State Board of Elections says Illinois was one of the states targeted by some hackers in 2016. The state of Illinois is on the list of states where people have gotten sick from eating some tainted breakfast cereal. CDC saying one person from Illinois was sickened with salmonella after eating Kellogg's Honey Smacks cereal. 71 in 31 states have gotten sick so far. That cereal is under a recall from Kellogg's. And there is another food recall this morning, this time over veggie trays. The Illinois Department of Public Health issuing a recall for Del Monte veggie trays and dip that had a best if used by date of June 17th. Public health managers say the fear is fear of a possible cyclopsoriasis outbreak. So far, there are no reported illnesses in Illinois related to those veggie trays. Family and friends and colleagues are mourning the death of a veteran Chicago journalist, Elizabeth Brackett. Channel 11 reports the 76-year-old passed away yesterday at Stroger Hospital after suffering serious injuries in a bike accident last week. Cardinals avoid the three-game sweep when they blanked the Cubs 5-0 at Busch. Nick Castellanos homered for the third time in the past two games as the Tigers and their Rally Goose took down the White Sox 3-1. James Shields serving up all three runs over 6 innings. It was a quality start, but he still gets the loss. Cubs and Dodgers begin a 3-game series tonight at Wrigley. Sox open up a 3-game set against the Indians. NBA draft Thursday in Brooklyn. Brooks Koepka, winner of the U.S. Open for the second straight year. Mexico stuns defending world champion Germany in World Cup action Sunday. Brazil tied Switzerland 1-1. Sweden, South Korea, Belgium, Panama, Tunisia, and England will battle today. And if you like good baseball, tune in the College World Series. Texas Tech stunned Florida 6-3, while Arkansas topped the Longhorns, Texas. The news, a service of LifeLock. No one wants to wake up to the news that they're the victim of identity theft or that malware is attacking their smartphone. That's why new LifeLock with Norton now includes protection for your identity and devices. Join at LifeLock.com. Promo code RISK. Save an additional 10% off your first year. 5:08 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
It's become a summer tradition. Rockin' for the Troops returns this summer on July 14th at Northwestern Medicine Field in Geneva, home of the Kane County Cougars. Don't miss this year's lineup featuring Seventh Heaven, Ayla Brown, Rocky Lynn, The Voices, and Ryan Weaver. Proceeds will benefit Operation Support Our Troops America. Get your tickets today at rockinforthetroops.org. That's rockinforthetroops.org.
The expensive mattress you're considering buying is a waste of money. Hi, I'm Christian von Rickenbach, founder of HelixSleep.com, the only place to get a customized mattress starting at just $600. Just go to HelixSleep.com, fill out our 2-minute sleep survey, and we'll design a mattress made just for you with a 100-night sleep trial and financing as low as 0%. Go to HelixSleep.com/talkradio right now and you'll get $125 towards your mattress order. That's HelixSleep.com/talkradio.
I'm Devin. I deliver sandwiches for Jimmy John's.
Freaktown, population Devin.
We'll deliver one sandwich,
Minimum freak,
or hundreds of sandwiches.
infinity freak.
However many you want.
You're mayor of Freaktown, Devin. Freaky fresh, freaky fast, Jimmy John's, freak yeah.
I'm Tammy. I get to Jimmy John's early every day
Freak-a-doodle-doo.
to bake bread fresh.
Freak-a-doodle-do.
And we keep on baking throughout the day, so it's always fresh for our customers. That's all.
Doodaloo, freak-a-doo. Freaky fresh, freaky fast, Jimmy John's, freak yeah.
Right now, are you sitting in your home afraid to go out in public? Afraid to be seen in a restaurant? Afraid to talk or smile knowing those dentures will fall out at any minute? I'm Dr. Howard Cooper from Excellence in Dentistry, and we can handle all your worries. We have a complete in-house denture lab, and we're here to help you smile and eat with all the confidence again. Every day I see folks like Mary, whose family didn't know where else to turn. Mary's been losing weight and wouldn't eat with her ill-fitting dentures. After talking with Mary, we realized that not only did her denture not fit well, but she hated the way it made her look. We fabricated a new denture that day, and we designed it with Mary's concerns in mind. The smile on her face when we finished conveyed the greatest feeling of all. Mary not only looked beautiful, but she was happy and couldn't wait to get downstairs and hit the restaurant. Mary is happy and her family is happy. That's what we do for our patients. We change their lives. Call us at 847-244-4000 for your free consultation. Don't hide in your house any longer. Enjoy your summer with a new smile and a new outlook on life. Again, call us at 847-244-4000. We are located in Gurnee at Washington and 21 in Saratoga Square. Excellence in Dentistry, creating excellence one smile at a time.
5:11. Let's get an update on what's happening on the roads this morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Jim, it was bumpy on the way to work this morning. You could feel that pavement, not like the heat, but no pavement buckles that I've seen so far.
No, Mike, good morning. At this point, we don't have any closures, at least none reported as far as the pavement buckling or potential pavement buckling, but we'll keep an eye on that with that heat still a factor. We do have plenty of police activity in Chicago. Adams is closed on the west side between Damon and near Western. Actually, specifically between Sealy and Levitt. This is for police investigation of an earlier incident. And now Loomis has a heavy police presence. This is southeast of there. This is the other side of the Eisenhower to the south between Roosevelt and 14th. We have reports of multiple shootings at the intersection, or near the intersection, 13th Loomis. Expressways look pretty good. The express lanes on the Kennedy have opened on the inbound side. No delays or incidents yet as traffic starts to build for the morning rush. Still some morning road work on the Tri-State southbound 120 to Atkinson in the right lane. That's scheduled till 6. Traffic service of Discover Student Loans. Figuring out how to cover college costs? Discover Student Loans, one of the top private student loan lenders in the country. Great rates, zero fees, while students can earn a cash reward for their good grades. Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Jim, thank you. Chicago's Morning Answers starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. We'll have a strong sun today, hot and humid conditions, and late afternoon thunderstorms could be triggered when a cold front drifts from the north to the south. Some of that extreme heat up until that time could be dangerous. High 93. Strong storms are possible, a marginal risk of storms overnight. Low 65, mainly cloudy, cooler, a couple of showers and storms. Only a high of 77 tomorrow. 81 at O'Hare and along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update, 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
Make sure to check out the Income Store live video stream of today's show right now at 560theanswer.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. I hope everyone had a lovely Father's Day.
Yeah, what did you do for your father, Larry Proft?
I watched the U.S. Open. And so that's what you do.
With
It's
good
one
old
of the
Dad?
things you do.
Wait, did you watch it with him, or you watched it in honor of him? He was in his house. You were in your little pie in the sky.
Yeah,
That's how that
a
goes.
combination of the two. And so,
What did you think of the
and
US Open?
And did you play golf with your dad since he plays 365 days a year?
Did not play with him. You know why? Because he's smart enough to know you never play on the weekends. And especially on Father's Day when
Amateur hour.
yeah, and he doesn't deal with that. You know, he likes to get up early, get in his 18 holes, possibly 72 holes, and then goes home and takes a little nappy noopy. He's got a nice life.
It's not bad.
But yeah, watch the U.S. Open though. That was
Oh, you did?
Oh my gosh, it was insane. Because I'm always interested. What I one time called what I call the PGA Open.
The PGA Open. That's what you termed it on Thursday, I believe. But
I
yeah.
loved on Saturday how everybody's complaining about the pin placement and everybody was 1 over, 2 over when you're normally 5 under.
1 over, 2 over, or Ricky Fowler shot 84, or Phil shot 81. Or
Well, he was
82.
a hot mess. What was the whole where the ball's rolling and he ran up to it and tried to stop it and knock it in the cup? I've never seen that before. Have you?
I've never seen that in a professional tournament. No, I've never seen that in U.S. Open. That was.
I don't even do that.
That was not Phil's finest moment.
No, there was a desperation shot. Come
But-
back here, little ball. I'm going to get you.
But here's the thing. It's actually a classic case too of making things worse by trying to spin your way out of it rather than just cop to it. His explanation is what made it worse. His
What did he say?
explanation that it was strategic, that he was, in the midst of going back and forth on these greens that wouldn't hold a putt, much less an approach shot. And so rather than have the ball go all the way down 40 yards from the apron of the green, he just went back and hit it, take the 2-stroke penalty.
He ended up with 10 on that hole.
Right.
That's bad. If you get more than a snowman, it's over, which is an 8.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Golf tips.
I'm just
golf scoring.
golf scoring. Never get more than a snowman.
But here's the thing. Actually, if he was being strategic, if that was well thought out or a strategic reaction in the moment, he could have just declared the ball unplayable and placed it with 2 club lengths. So it doesn't really hold water. Nobody really believed it, and it sort of made Phil. It just sort of was a tarnishing event for Phil, and this is one of the all-time greats.
Well, they changed the pin placement on Sunday, so it would be fair, according to the players. But I could not get over the crowd. They should never have a U.S. Open ever in New York. Did you hear the New Yorkers? Like, hey, well, how's your wife? People, they were taunting players. They're asking Brooks Koepka, who ended up winning, how's your wrist? They were just
right
in there. And who's that? Tony?
Tony Finau. I asked him how his ankle was.
Right. How's your ankle?
Because he, of course, dislocated his ankle
At
during the Masters.
Yeah,
right.
that par 3 competition. He was celebrating, popped it out, then popped it back in, and I got sick. But I just think that they are too obnoxious. We had to need to have a more refined crowd, such as Chicagoans.
Mm-hmm.
Or anywhere in the Midwest.
Well, move over Curtis Strange, Brooks Koepka, back-to-back, first time in 3 decades.
And he's a big dude. He looks like a linebacker. He's buff. I can't. Is this too much?
Take it easy over there.
What?
Yeah, he'll send you an autographed picture. Just send him a letter.
fine.
You'll get an autographed picture for the home.
Thanks.
Yeah.
No, I'm hanging up here in the studio.
I know not everybody likes golf, but everybody should, and everybody should watch the U.S. Open and the Masters each summer. And so,
Condi Rice.
That's what I did.
Yeah. Oh, did you golf?
Condi
this
Rice
weekend?
doesn't what?
She plays golf and watches the Masters. And
Oh,
the US
she's a
Open.
member at Augusta.
Yeah, she is.
Right. Uh-huh.
Did you play this weekend?
I did not. No.
Why? Because what?
Didn't get around to it. Plus,
Because
I
you
wanted
had
to watch the US
Medina,
Open.
and then you had our golf tournament on Thursday. That led into Friday because it lasted 7.5 hours.
Try and get around. Actually, this year our golf outing, which of course the afternoon round my team won. Our golf outing wasn't that
that's
bad.
right,
It wasn't that bad this year.
No, it wasn't.
It was like 5.5 hours, which is not
Hmm.
terrible for 2 groups per hole. So actually, it was. It
Are
seemed
you
like it
in,
moved around a little more quickly, but I had a good group too.
Well, are you and Desmond Clark BFFs now?
Yeah, me and Des.
I'm sorry. Yeah, now you call him Des.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. He told some fascinating stories about some players.
it was fun. It was fun.
Wow.
He's a really good guy. It was
Oh,
fun
I
to
love
play with
him.
him. Speaking of Father's Day, a couple of Father's Day notes. I don't know if you've got one of these collector's items. But if you did get a baby daddy card, you're going to want to keep that because Target is discontinuing carrying them in their stores.
A baby daddy card?
Yeah. Baby daddy, you're familiar with this term? It's been around
They
for
have cards for that?
Yeah. The card said baby daddy in pink cursive script and featured a black couple kissing. That generated some market feedback from Target.
Oh, I'm sure it did.
Interestingly, a woman who brought this to the attention of Target a couple months earlier in Dallas said said that was the only card she was that she saw that had a black couple on it, as she was looking for a card to give to her husband that reflects her own family. She is, by definition of saying her husband, she is married. My reaction was just, this is my only option. I don't view him as my baby daddy. I would not call him that. That's offensive to him and me. Right. Target said, we really do appreciate the opportunity to get feedback from our guests, and it's never our intent to offend customers. So American Greetings instructed other retailers to remove it from thousands of other stores across the country as well.
Well, I spent Father's Day too. CNN had a great piece. Are you ready for this? This is the title. He gave birth, he breastfed, now he wants his son to see him as a man. It's about a biological female. Remember, she reversed herself to a transgender man who, after taking testosterone, conceived a child with a man who was also transitioning into a transgender woman, but stopped taking hormones long enough they could conceive a son.
I'm going to need a scorecard on that.
I mean, but here's a picture of it. That was how they celebrated Father's Day, with this wonderfully messed up story about this poor kid who has two transgender parents who, when it was convenient for them to be their biological gender, conceived and then transitioned back.
They transition to conceive and then transition back.
Yeah, it makes your head spin, and we should not promote this craziness.
So they're just playing man and woman when they
role playing,
going back and forth. I see.
Mm-hmm.
That's
24-year-old.
That's a good example of fatherhood in the modern era, I suppose. Here's another example. This is sort of writ large, the data. The first American celebration of Father's Day commemorated a mining accident that left more than 1,000 children fatherless. This was in the early 1900s. At that point, less than 10% of kids under the age of 10 lived in a household, not including their biological or adoptive father. Today, that number's nearly 25%. Also, of course, the primary driver of the increase in fatherless homes is not mortality issues. It's incarceration and less marriage.
Hence the card at Target.
Yeah, well, it's true. Now, the company did say it was intended to be a playful husband card, but we've notified the product team that it missed the mark. Okay. The share of it missed the mark because it's too close to home, ironically. The share of kids living apart from their dads by race, 57% of African Americans, 28% for Hispanics, 16% for non-Hispanic whites, 10% for Asians. And one reason, of course, is that African Americans as a group are more likely to be incarcerated, but that's only one reason. So the problem of incarceration, less marriage, it's across racial demographics in terms of the substantial increase over the last century, but it's most notable in communities that, by the economic data, are struggling the most. I wonder if there's a connection.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up, besides our golf tournament last week, Stormy Daniels was supposed to be in Chicago, and then she was in, she was out. We'll have an update.
That's not unusual for her.
Oh, hey now. But first, here's your forecast. My inner Kevin Matthews. We're going to have sun today, hot and humid. Again, another day of excessive heat warning in effect. A high of 93 degrees. Factor in the heat index, it'll feel near 98. But tonight we have a strong evening thunderstorm that could actually bring some flooding and damaging winds, but it will cool things down here, a low of 65. And tomorrow, cloudy, couple of showers and thunderstorm, and a high only in the mid to upper 70s. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte. Happy belated Father's Day, Jim.
Thank you, Amy. Good morning. Good morning, Dan. West side of Chicago got heavy police activity right now. First of all, south of the Eisenhower, Loomis is closed. Roosevelt and 14th. Reports of multiple shot at 13th and Loomis. And Washburn is closed. They're west of Loomis, just near the edge of the Adams-Medill Park. Then northwest of there, north of the Eisenhower, Adams is closed. And Sealy 11, police investigation. Still closures at Woodridge after the Jubilee there over the weekend, and at Evanston after the Custer Fair. Traffic's getting a little heavier on O'Hare now. Westbound 190, slow from the Kennedy to the Tri-State. You have a little bit of heavy traffic on the outbound Kennedy approaching 190. Outbound Eisenhower slow central to Austin where there's a crash. IDOT is just now responding. Slight delays on the inbound Stevenson, Ryan, and Bishop Ford. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
As a business owner, you have hundreds of decisions to make on a daily basis. It's beyond needing to pay bills, keeping employees happy, or what the next step is to grow your business. Part of your stress can be making sure you're protected in a time of crisis. Can you trust that your insurance provider is going to be there when you need them most? When you're looking for a partner who's there for you in your most desperate times, call Insure with Us. You won't have to wait on hold to talk to an agent who's unfamiliar with your policy. Speak directly to who wrote your policy when you have any urgent question or need. Don't hesitate. Get it done today. Get a free quote in less than 24 hours at lowcostinsurance.biz. Choose from dozens of top insurers across the U.S. Insure with Us focuses on finding you the best coverage for your business and for your family. Visit them today at lowcostinsurance.biz. Insure with Us. Coverage for the things that matter most.
The celebration of our troops and veterans continues at Joe Cotton Ford. There's $750 bonus cash for all active military and veterans. Plus, next month on July 14th, please join us for our USO Barbecue for the Troops, raising awareness and funds for local troops and their families. It's always a great event and certainly a great cause. You won't want to miss it. Good food, lots of fun, and great savings. Like the $750 Veterans Bonus Cash offer, plus all the great savings from Joe Cotton Ford. Please join us for a day of celebrating our military and our community on July 14th, and you'll see why we're Chicagoland's best Ford buying experience, and why Ford is America's best-selling brand. And don't forget all the Joe Cotton Ford exclusives that make a Ford from Joe Cotton Ford a better value. It's our promise to you. We'll treat you great and save you money. From 3 generations of our family to yours, you have our word on it. At Gary and North Avenue in Carroll Stream or at joecottonford.com.
On select vehicles through July 9th. See dealer for details.
Your daughter's wedding is one of the proudest moments of your life. A moment you and your family will treasure for the rest of your lives. As the months of planning start to unfold and you get closer to the special day, things can get a bit hectic. So many important details. To capture these once-in-a-lifetime memories and not have to worry about anything but the celebration, trust Artland Photography for every precious moment. At Artland Photography, it's all about you. No matter what your style, their photographers have the skill and experience to capture the moments quickly and stay out of the way. They'll make it easy to enjoy all of the smiles, laughter, and tears to enjoy for generations. Visit them at artland.com, where you can see their amazing work and outstanding reviews for yourself. Plus, learn about a special limited-time offer. You'll know why Artland Photography has been Wedding Wire's couple's choice for the last 5 years. They also shoot everything from major corporate events to business and family portraits. Visit artland.com. It's all about you.
When you hear the word divorce, a lot of thoughts go through your head. The emotional exhaustion, confusion, the extra demands, loneliness. It's not a fun subject to talk about. So many people have or are currently going through a divorce. You may be one of them, or you know someone who is. Maybe a family member or friend. Now there's some great assistance to get you through the tough times. A BFF's Guide to Divorce can help you or someone you know walk through the divorce process and relieve much of the stress. It explains some of the variables and decisions of a divorce, along with the overall process and terminology. But it also explains how a best friend forever, a BFF, can walk alongside their friend during this challenging time, providing emotional and tactical support. Get a BFF's Guide to Divorce now for yourself or a friend. It's available from Amazon. To order, go to Amazon.com and search the keywords BFF and divorce under books.
AM 560, The Answer.
And Amy, and if you were at the Stormy Daniels limited performance on Thursday night, give us a call, 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro, answer line, so that we can shame you.
Well, no, I mean, she was supposed to perform Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and what happened?
She performed Thursday night, and there was a...
Did something happen?
There was a dispute over certain details in the contract. She performed Thursday night, started about an hour late, was around for about 15 minutes. Most of the $30 to $50 tickets for the show sold out. The Thursday night crowd is described by the Tribune as spirited, yes, filled with people who seem to be attending a strip club for the first time.
Oh, okay.
A few men near the front of the stage, wore Make America Great Again hats on sale in the lobby. Oh, sure, they want to get it from both sides, like Stormy Daniels. And another man gave Daniels repeated standing ovations, and he also clapped for her as she stripped off her red, white, and blue sparkly costume to songs like American Woman and American Girl. You're sorry you missed that, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, so she just danced around a pole scantily clad.
Yes, so...
Because that's what strippers do.
Correct, yes. The problem, though, why the run was shortened just Thursday, and then she took off.
I knew people that were supposed to go Friday, but what happened?
Of course you did. No,
Well-
of course, no. Of course. It's a nice Friday date night. Her assistant, Stormy Daniels' assistant, Dwayne Crawford, told the Tribune Friday afternoon the Admiral had a little man that management wanted to pop out of an onstage cake as Trump, and Stormy Daniels wasn't having it because she has standards.
Oh, so was it a little, like...
A midget.
midget.
Yeah,
They wanted
midget
a
Trump
midget
out of a cake.
who resembled President Trump to jump out of a cake.
We avoid political situations with our shows because we're in the middle of a lawsuit. Very careful.
Yeah, I'm sure. Mm-hmm.
Also, for security purposes, Daniel's team has a very specific way of handling meet and greets and retains all merchandise profits, something that also was apparently an area of disagreement between the management of Stormy Daniels and the management of Admiral Theater.
Wow.
And now
So
I
the
need to take
storm
another shower this morning.
The storm pattered out in Chicago. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Immigration legislation week. Also, Nunez and Gowdy throw down on the FBI and DOJ. It is either comply with subpoenas for documents or face all available options from House Republicans, including impeachment of some DOJ officials.
And later, if your Uber score is bad, what can you do to make it better? But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Good morning, everyone. 81 degrees in Chicago. Strong earthquake near Osaka, Japan. So far has killed 3, injured others, knocked over walls and buildings. British Transport Police report that 3 have been killed this morning by a train south of London. It's a developing story we're watching there. French media are reporting this morning that a woman shouting Allah Akbar is injured too with a box cutter at a supermarket in southern France. Others may be injured. We're watching election developments in Central and South America. And one very interesting development is a young conservative protege, of a powerful former Colombian president, looks to be headed to a big presidential election victory in Colombia today. Representative Trey Gowdy is charged up by the Inspector General's report into the Hillary Clinton email investigation.
The same team that exonerated her implicated him before the investigation began, and I suspect some members will ask about the coziness between the FBI and the media.
Fox News Sunday, the South Carolina Republican was highly critical of the FBI. Former First Lady Laura Bush says the current policy of separating immigrant children from their parents at the border is heartbreaking. Bush says she appreciates the need to enforce immigration law, but her op-ed in the Washington Post Sunday called the current zero-tolerance policy cruel and immoral. White House advisor Kellyanne Conway insisting immigrant kids are not being separated from their parents at the border as leverage to get concessions in immigration policy debates.
I certainly don't want anybody to use these kids as leverage. I saw a headline that breathlessly screamed as much, and I object to that very forcefully.
Last week, the Department of Homeland Security said about 2,000 kids have been separated from their parents or legal guardian. Chicago police tell us this morning they continue to investigate a possible wide-ranging shooting near 13th and Loomis, south of the Eisenhower Expressway. Multiple injuries are reported. Sweltering heat will continue to blanket Chicagoland today as an excessive heat warning is in effect in Cook County until tonight, while a heat advisory is in effect for the rest of the region. A lot of you went to the movie theater over the weekend. Incredibles 2 is breaking opening weekend records for Pixar. The new animated film made $180 million in its first week in North American theaters. Well, that may not sound like much compared to Infinity Wars or Black Panther, but the sequel became the largest debut ever for a PG-rated movie. Marked the third biggest debut in 2018 in the U.S. and Canada. Cardinals avoid the three-game sweep. They blanket the Cubs 5-0 at Busch Stadium. Tigers took down the White Sox 3-1. Brooks Koepka, your winner of the U.S. Open for the second straight year. The news service of Discover Student Loans, figuring out how to cover college costs. Discover Student Loans, one of the top private student loan lenders in the country. With great rates, zero fees, plus students can earn a cash reward for their good grades. Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply. 5:35 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher says this is why you elected Donald Trump.
The president is correct in calling off the Eagles' White House visit, telling ungrateful, overpaid athletes that if you can't take a few minutes and not aggressively disrespect the national anthem, and you don't want to go to the White House, then your team, including its owner and coaches, are certainly not welcome either. This is why you elected Donald Trump.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Quote, buy, and save on home insurance with Progressive's new Home Quote Explorer. Only at Progressive.com.
I was diagnosed with diabetic. High blood pressure.
High cholesterol.
Terrible acid reflux.
Are you sick and tired of being sick and tired? Wouldn't you rather be healthy, energetic, and fit? I'm Dennis Black. 10 years ago here in Dallas, I developed a Texas-sized solution to America's health crisis.
TexasSuperfood.com.
I make my Texas Superfood from 55 raw, vine-ripened fruits and vegetables.
Alfalfa leaf, aloe vera, apples, asparagus, raspberry, spinach, all of the nutrients.
You know, it's been barely a week, and already my skin is better.
I lost 60 pounds. I mean, that's huge.
Since I've been on Superfood, I haven't been sick.
It's borderline shocking how much energy I have.
Thousands of people take my Texas Superfood every day. Join us on TexasSuperfood.com.
TexasSuperfood.com.
Or call 877-55-TEXAS. That's 877-55-TEXAS. 877-55-TEXAS. Or
TexasSuperfood.com.
5:37. Let's get an update on the roads and the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. West side of Chicago, streets are blocked off around 13th and Loomis. Reports of both people shot in that area. Also, there's a closure northwest of there of Adams from Damon and near 11th. This is due to a police investigation. Edens looks good. The Kennedy outbound heavy Montrose to Lawrence crashed in the left lane. Then also the Kennedy's heavy approaching 190. Those delays continue to the tri-state with airport traffic. About 25 minutes downtown to O'Hare. About Eisenhower slow starting around Manheim. 33 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 33 with crash at Austin center lane. Stevenson 38 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan 18 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishoport 18 minutes, 8094 to Merge. Tollways look fine. Traffic, service of LifeLock. No one wants to wake up to the news that they're the victim of identity theft or that malware is attacking their smartphone. That's why new LifeLock with Norton now includes protection for your identity and devices. Join at lifelock.com. Use promo code RISK. Save an additional 10% off your first year. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Jim, thank you. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Sunny, hot, and humid today. Afternoon storms will be triggered as a cold front begins to move through the area. High 93. Currently 81. Next news coming up at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is sponsored by the Townstone Financial Show, Saturday afternoons at 1. Nobody values your mortgage business like Townstone. Listen and call for the best advice.
When you've got questions, he always has an answer. It's Sean Hannity this afternoon at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. The big question in D.C., one of the big questions, why is Peter Strzok still at the FBI?
I know.
How does this guy keep his job?
How does this happen?
This is one of the reasons. He's a good example of why there's such frustration with the political ruling class. It seems not only are people not held to account, they continue to enjoy benefits of their own malfeasance. It's bizarre. Just so we're clear again, the Inspector General's report, which we spent a lot of time Friday going over, that it basically details lack of impartiality, insubordination, intimidation of the FBI by Hillary's lawyers.
But no political bias.
Well, of course, that's the left spin, but of course, that's not what Michael Horowitz's report says at all. For example, on Peter Strzok, that his texts not only indicative of a biased state of mind, but even more seriously, implying a willingness to take official action to impact the presidential candidate's electoral prospects. The text messages, Horowitz goes on, quoting, potentially indicated or created the appearance that the investigative decisions were impacted by bias or improper considerations. Now, Horowitz is painstakingly detailed in his assessment. Can't prove it. It's telling you what they indicate, which is, oh, by the way, why Horowitz referred his findings on Strzok to the FBI's Office of Professional Responsibility for possible disciplinary measures. The IG explicitly considered a scenario in which Strzok slow-walked the investigation into Anthony Weiner's laptop because he was leery of doing something to hurt Hillary's chances in the final weeks of the campaign.
But what struck me as so strange is James Comey didn't even know that Anthony Weiner was married to Huma Abedin.
He can't keep up with the tabloids.
But even Peyton and Eli know that. Who doesn't know that? President Clinton married them. She's Hillary's best friend. They're connected at the hip.
That's just how apolitical Comey is.
Oh,
he doesn't pay attention to these things.
I mean, do you think he's just aloof, stupid, cocky? 312-642-5600 is our Turnkey Pro answer line. 64636. Type in DA, then a quick comment.
I think he's done, and Trey Gowdy made this point over the weekend. He was on with Maria Bartiromo. There was with Chris Wallace.
They kind of look the same.
There was this meeting on Friday. In the wake of this, Trey Gowdy went from someone very much inclined to give the FBI and DOJ the benefit of the doubt. Yep, right? These are institutions he wants to see protected. He understands their importance. And I think most Americans do, too, but they also want them to be run by political operatives, which is apparently what was happening during the Obama administration and into the Trump administration until there were some personnel changes, and apparently more personnel changes need to be made. But Gowdy and Devin Nunes, House Intel Committee Chairman, Speaker Ryan, Christopher Wray, and DOJ, Friday night meeting. You are going to comply with these subpoenas for the documents that have been subpoenaed. Mm-hmm. You're going to do it this week, or we're going to move in unison as a caucus in the House to impose the disciplinary actions on the relevant parties that are available to us. Here's Trey Gowdy making the case, and also with something about Comey's standing as the star witness given this IG report.
We had a meeting Friday night under the heading of Minor Miracles. You had members of the House working on a Friday night. Paul Ryan led this meeting. You had Devin Nunes, Bob Goodlatte, myself, and everyone you can think of from the FBI and the DOJ. And we went item by item on both of those outstanding subpoenas. We either have compliance, we have partial compliance, or we have non-compliance. And Paul made it very clear. There's going to be action on the floor of the House this week if the FBI and DOJ do not comply with our subpoena request. So Rod Rosenstein, Chris Rape, you were in the meeting. You understood him just as clearly as I did. We're going to get compliance, or the House of Representatives is going to use its full arsenal of constitutional weapons to gain. Part of that depends upon what you view the Mueller probe as. Now, you mentioned collusion. The only person in the universe who claims to have evidence of collusion is Adam Schiff. And unlike any other secret he's ever had, he's actually kept this one. He's never told anyone what evidence he has. So there's no evidence of collusion. Obstruction of justice, Chris, good luck having your star witness being Jim Comey in any prosecution, from shoplifting to obstruction of justice. Good luck if that.
Yeah, good luck. So that's his review. Devin Nunes, who was on with Maria Bartiromo over the weekend, echoed Gowdy's sentiments and was a little bit more specific.
The deadline's not Friday. The deadline is this week. So if documents do not begin to be turned over tomorrow, and a clear way and path forward for everything else is not clear here in the next couple days, there's going to be hell to pay by Wednesday morning, because we can no longer, it's not just about the committee chairman any longer. This is about rank and file members of Congress who continue to come up to me and say, what on earth are you guys doing? I have many members on the Intelligence Committee that are Republicans that are trying to get to the bottom of these issues. They're relying on me to get the documents so that they can complete the investigation that we began. So we are quickly, this is going to go from just myself and a few committee chairmen to all the members of the House of Representatives who are going to begin to take action against the Department of Justice and FBI.
And the action, he said, included a number of options that Congress has at its disposal, but most notably impeachment. Remember, we talked a few weeks ago that telegraphing the prospect of impeaching Rod Rosenstein, for example.
Right.
That's on the table.
All I know from reading that report is I have absolutely zero trust left in the DOJ or the FBI. And Comey, he made up his decision on Hillary in the spring of 2016. Remember, he did the announcement July 5th of 2016. He's a fraud, and he's a glory hound. And that's all you can say about him. Honestly, I just want him to go away. And I'm not going to read his book or buy his book.
A higher loyalty.
A higher loyalty.
Craig in Mount Greenwood has something more to say about Comey.
I'm the second coming.
Hey, good morning, Dan, Amy. These guys, well, starting with Comey, who you were asking about, it's so clear by the report and all the different things that he's said and done over the amount of time, this amount of time. He's exposed as an absolute con artist. He's dishonest, a liar. But what's going on here is, the longer they drag their feet and they take and obstruct like this, I'm talking about like Rod Rosenstein and that, they're all being exposed, really. Rod Rosenstein, Mueller, they're all in this. It really is a rotten cabal of even if the Ray that got out there and everything. This is they need to figure out a way to deal with the whole bunch of them. You could never have any confidence in this FBI or Department of Justice with these people. They are so corrupt, and that report, it exposes so many different things that whether they properly go after them, like they went after Flynn and Manafort and all that kind of thing, everything happening so darn fast and so aggressive, and nothing happens to these people that are involved. They're supposed to be upholding laws and justice and that, and they do just the opposite.
Thanks for the call, Craig. I mean, you've got a number of points there, though, too. You're talking about, we make this point, senior leadership, but this is, the executives responsible for the direction of the agency, how the agency operates. And you're talking about the director. Obviously, we know the hot water the former deputy director, Andy McCabe, is in. You've got Strzok and Page, as well as agents 1 through 5 unnamed in the report.
That's right.
You have at DOJ, Bruce Orr, Deputy Attorney General, his wife working on the Fusion dossier. You've got Rod Rosenstein, who certainly has been vindicated along with Trump in terms of the rationale for writing the letter in Rosenstein's case, making the decision to fire Comey in President Trump's case.
And then don't you have an FBI agent who asked, they wanted their son to work on the Hillary campaign? It was one of those unnamed agents, 1 through 5, that had asked, I want to get my son a job with her.
That was Strzok.
That was Strzok.
Yeah.
He's a busy guy. Trying to help out his son. Unbelievable.
You also had another Deputy Attorney General or Assistant Attorney General who was leaking information to the Hillary campaign. Yeah. So there's a real problem here, and I think Trey Gowdy senses it because, just to reiterate, I don't think Americans are saying shut down the Department of Justice or shut down the FBI. Some may be saying shut down the FBI.
Well, they could start with getting rid of the bad characters like Peter
that's
Strzok
right.
and Page.
Well, that's right. And so to that end, you have Trey Gowdy and Devin Nunes and Speaker Ryan amping this up and saying, we are going to hold you accountable. We're going to take a very public posture in holding you accountable. And my suggestion is, even though some on the left will decry this as somehow meddling or thuggery or whatever, is that Trump should enlist, especially after they comply with the subpoenas or not, but hopefully they will, enlist Wray and enlist Sessions and Rosenstein if they're going to stay and make a very public showing, take a very active role in saying we're going to work together to make sure that the culture that was poisoned by Comey and Loretta Lynch and those senior leaders, some of the names I mentioned and others, we're going to make sure that people are replaced so the culture is changed and the credibility is restored to these institutions that are so important to law enforcement, to the rule of law in this country. And I think that would be a really interesting position for Trump to take because it would confound his critics yet again. Then you would have Trump, the institution builder, Trump taking an active role in working with law enforcement, and he's a law and order guy, to restore the credibility of law enforcement. Just a thought. Bruno in Naperville, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, this American is saying get rid of the FBI, or at the very least, break it down to bare bones and rebuild it from the bottom up, because I don't think it's capable of reforming itself. It's too rotten and corrupt to the core.
All right. Thanks for the call, Bruno. Appreciate it. Pete in Montgomery.
Hi, Dan. Hi, Amy. So where does the DO or the IG report come in on the underlying crime of Hillary Clinton mishandling classified information? I mean, that's what this is supposed to be all about.
Well, right. And remember, so Horowitz is really looking at how the FBI handled its responsibilities. He's not making an assessment of the evidence. And so he's obviously rebuked Jim Comey for insubordination. He's rebuked these agents for at least the appearance of bias, even though he couldn't prove it. So it's a pretty devastating report for the FBI, but he just didn't handle, and it wasn't his job to handle an assessment of the evidence against Hillary.
Until that's addressed, the FBI is going to be under a cloud.
Yeah, it's a fair point. Thanks, Pete.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Hey, Chicagoland, Dan Proft here. I'm here with my guy, Ryan Kelly, at thehomeloanexpert.com. He's one of us, and Ryan just gets it. People are looking to buy a home right now. What do they do?
Oh, it's a great question, and it's a tight real estate market right now. I think most people know that, especially if you're actively looking to buy a house. Maybe you're on Zillow, Realtor.com, you got the apps on your phone, you're stalking them at work, and you're waiting for that right house to hit the market. Well, when it does, you better be pre-approved, and you better be pre-approved by a strong mortgage lender like the Home Loan Expert team. If you think you're the only one watching those same neighborhoods and watching those same streets, you're dead wrong. There's a lot of people out there waiting and watching. When that house hits the market, boom, goes under contract fast. Get pre-approved today at thehomeloanexpert.com, and you'll give yourself a big advantage when you do find that house. Go in there, get in there with your agent. You like it, write an offer, throw the pre-approval on the table. You should get an accepted contract. I'm Ryan Kelly, the Home Loan Expert. No one makes buying a home easier. Get pre-approved at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC.
You are a hero. You may not fight killer robots, but a crabby toddler can be a formidable foe. Luckily, you're armed with a Chrysler Pacifica. Its best-in-class Uconnect theater can defeat any temper tantrum. And when cargo space is in danger, Pacifica's trusty class-exclusive Stow and Go always comes to the rescue. Get a great deal at the Chrysler Incredible Sales Event.
Available feature based on the FCA US LLC Premium Minivan segment. Chrysler and Uconnect are registered trademarks of FCA US LLC.
Save more with Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Hey, Todd, Liberty Mutual just saved me $782.
Liberty did what?
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Maybe I should switch to Liberty Mutual.
Visit us online to... Hey, stop echoing.
Sorry.
Visit us online to get a quote, and you could save $782. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide new customer survey, coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company, Equal Housing Insurer.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. Insubordination, indifference, intimidated by Hillary's lawyers, improper gifts, lack of impartiality. The IG's report makes Democrats' dreams of a Trump impeachment inconceivable. So complete is the Trump vindication that the left has regressed back to trying to figure out whether or not they're supposed to like Jim Comey. Trump should press his advantage here by consummating his anti-ruling class value proposition. The public doesn't want the FBI or DOJ to go away. They just don't want the senior leadership of those agencies to be conniving political operatives who believe themselves to be above the law. Both are headed by Trump appointees now. The president should make a very public play to take a very active role in working with Christopher Wray and Jeff Sessions, or replacing them if need be, to make the personnel and policy changes necessary for culture change and credibility restoration. Much of the positive disruption President Trump has brought to the Beltway has been through simply doing what he said he would do as candidate Trump. It confounds the men and women of always. Trump ran as a law and order candidate. The FBI and DOJ are instrumental institutions to the rule of law and public order in America. Trump would bedevil his critics once again if he chose this moment to be an institutional rebuilder.
The expensive mattress you're considering buying is a waste of money. Hi, I'm Christian von Rickenbach, founder of HelixSleep.com, the only place to get a customized mattress starting at just $600. Just go to HelixSleep.com, fill out our 2-minute sleep survey, and we'll design a mattress made just for you with a 100-night sleep trial and financing as low as 0%. Go to HelixSleep.com/talkradio right now and you'll get $125 towards your mattress order. That's HelixSleep.com/talkradio.
I'm Devin. I deliver sandwiches for Jimmy John's.
Freaktown! Population Devin.
We'll deliver one sandwich.
Minimum freak.
Or hundreds of sandwiches.
Infinity freak!
However many you want.
You're mayor of Freaktown, Devin! Freaky fresh, freaky fast, Jimmy John's, freak yeah!
I'm Tammy. I get to Jimmy John's early every day.
Freak-a-doodle-doo!
To bake bread fresh.
Freak-a-doodle-do!
And we keep on baking throughout the day, so it's always fresh for our customers. That's all.
Doodaloo, freak-a-doo! Freaky fresh, freaky fast, Jimmy John's, freak yeah!
Nowadays, there's an app for everything, and here's one that's a must-have if you golf. It's the Bolingbrook Golf Club mobile app, and it'll enhance your golf experience. You can book tee times at Bolingbrook Golf Club. There's an interactive scorecard, golf games, a GPS, latest news from the club, even a food and beverage menu, Facebook sharing, and more. Just about everything you need for your golf game besides the clubs is in the palm of your hand with the new Bolingbrook Golf Club mobile app. Go to BolingbrookGolfClub.com/contact/download our app. BolingbrookGolfClub.com/contact/download our app. And download today.
Are you ready to take your golf game to the elite level? The Bolingbrook Elite Athlete Training Program, or BEAT, is the highest level of training designed to maximize potential and develop highly skilled players. You'll learn from the Bolingbrook Golf Club's world-class instructors. They've designed practice schedules and content to maximize player development. For the athlete that aspires to compete and train at the highest levels, check out BEAT, Bolingbrook Elite Athlete Training. More info at BolingbrookGolfClub.com.
Watch today's show live right now on the Income Store live video stream at 560theanswer.com.
557, a check on the roads. In the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Seeing some traffic around O'Hare now. It is slow going on the outbound side of the Kennedy. First from Addison to Lawrence after a crash, and then approaching 190. Those delays continue to around the tri-state. Expect congestion in the terminal area, too. It's about 31 minutes downtown to O'Hare, inbound 25. Eisenhower, 40 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 35 after a crash at Austin. Stevenson, 50 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Farther south, crash at 53 in the left lane. Ryan is 22 minutes, 95th to downtown. Traffic service of Geico Chicagoland. Chicago Geico now has even more ways to help you save money. Kevin, your local Geico agent, is ready to deliver the personal service you need with the savings you love. Stop by his local office on Cicero Avenue. Call 773-582-8888 for Kevin, your local Geico agent. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Sunny day ahead. Hot and humid with an afternoon thunderstorm. High near 93. Watch out for that extreme heat, especially in the midday. Could be dangerous. Strong storms cross the area as we begin to cool down, a low of 65 overnight. Currently 79 at O'Hare. The news is a service of LifeLock. No one wants to wake up to the news they're the victim of identity theft or that malware is attacking their smartphone. That's why new LifeLock with Norton now includes protection for your identity and devices. Join at lifelock.com, promo code RISK. Save an additional 10% off your first year. 5:59 on AM 560, The Answer. Here are the stories that we are following. Emergency responders are on the scene, and a mandatory evacuation is underway in parts of a southern Indiana community after a train derails. Several cars have caught fire. Several of those cars are carrying propane. It's near the town of Princeton. Chicago police tell us they continue to investigate a possible wide-ranging shooting near 13th and Loomis. Sweltering heat continuing to blanket Chicago today with an excessive heat warning in effect for Cook County. Cardinals blanked the Cubs. Tigers took down the White Sox 3-1 in Chicago. More Dan and Amy after Fox. WIND Chicago News Time is 6 o'clock.
Family matters at the border. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
The president could change this policy today. He could change it right now.
Senator Chris Van Hollen and several other Democratic lawmakers went to facilities in New Jersey and Texas where children are housed after being separated from parents detained for entering the U.S. illegally. They blame the Trump administration's zero-tolerance policy. The president blames Democrats. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
Counselor to the president, Kellyanne Conway, defended the administration's immigration policies on NBC's Meet the Press.
Nobody likes seeing babies ripped from their mother's arms, from their mother's wombs, frankly. But we have to make sure that DHS's laws are understood through the soundbite culture that we live in.
Some lawmakers believe the president is betting that by continuing to separate families, he'll gain political leverage in negotiations with Congress over a new immigration bill. Dave?
John, an SUV packed with a dozen suspected illegal immigrants crashed in Texas while being pursued by Border Patrol. At least 5 were killed. The driver is believed to be a U.S. citizen. A suspected gunman in Saturday's shooting at a New Jersey arts and music festival remains in critical condition. Another gunman was killed. 21 other people were injured. Mercer County prosecutor Angelo Onofre blames
neighborhood gangs from here in the city of Trenton having a dispute at the venue.
Japan was rocked by an earthquake. A magnitude 6.1 near Osaka, blamed for 3 deaths. One of those killed a 9-year-old girl hit by a concrete wall that fell at her school. More than 100 other people were injured. An incredibly big weekend for a cartoon at the movies.
Suit up. It might get weird.
I'll be there ASAP.
Where you going ASAP? You better be back ASAP.
Incredibles 2 set the record for an animated film's debut weekend with a $180 million opening. Also, it's the best opening ever for a PG-rated movie. Fox News. Fair and balanced.
On AM 560, The Answer. Your opinion counts. And we want to know how you feel about the news stories we're talking about each and every day. Make sure to vote in the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll at 560theanswer.com. Listen for today's poll question at 10:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 3:30 p.m. and hear the results each evening at 5:30. It's the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll on 560theanswer.com.
When posting on most job sites, you get candidates.
I'm the sales director.
I'm the sales
director you're looking for.
But when you post on Indeed.com, you get the candidates just right for you.
I'm a sales director with an MBA, over 10 years experience, who's also fluent in Japanese.
With Indeed, you can add screener questions for a less time-consuming route to your short list of qualified candidates.
Arigato.
Hiring's better when you've got your short list. Save time on hiring when you post a job on Indeed. Get started today at Indeed.com/hire.
What happened? You used to go hours without visiting the bathroom. Now it seems like you're constantly getting up to pee.
Listen, the makers of Super Beta Prostate are introducing a new wonder pill, Super Beta Prostate P3 Advanced, with 3 key ingredients that are great for your prostate. To celebrate, your first 30-day supply is free. Pay shipping and handling. Get P3 Advanced free. Call 1-800-215-9360. 1-800-215-9360. 1-800-215-9360.
We're all ready for sunshine, drinks on warm nights with friends, and getting in shape for the summer. Do it all at Riviera Country Club and Sports Center in Orland Park. A 100,000 square foot private facility with affordable fitness and social activities the entire family can enjoy. Keep your workouts fun with 64 aerobic, strength and conditioning, aquatic, and yoga classes, all included with your membership. Work on your jump shot on a full basketball court, your backhand on 2 indoor courts and outdoor clay courts. You can even take a ride on their outdoor water slide and enjoy a few laps in their indoor pools. For mental relaxation, Riviera Country Club and Sports Center offers a men's and women's spa, each with their own sauna, steam room, and whirlpool. Wrap up the day poolside with food and beverages from Gatto's Restaurant and Bar. Call Riviera Country Club and Sports Center now to join, and the first 50 callers get their first month free. Call 708-349-1100 to schedule a tour today. Again, that's 708-349-1100. Riviera Country Club and Sports Center, much more than a health club.
My name is Todd. I am a firefighter, paramedic. I'm a husband, I'm a dad, and I am no longer suffering from depression. With depression, you don't want to make friends. You just want to be alone, and it was a way of life for me. I have been seeing a psychologist for several years and not really getting anywhere. I've tried 11 different medications, which some of the side effects that I experienced were pretty severe. I finally reached out for help myself. It's very satisfying to know that something works.
HPR centers in Chicagoland and Milwaukee offer TMS therapy. In just a few weeks, you can change your life, and it's FDA cleared. It's covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross, Blue Shield, and Medicare. You can make real progress in the battle with depression, cure or remission. Get a free consultation. 800-604-0208. 800-604-0208. HPR Centers. Go to endmydepression.com. End your depression.
This hourly segment is brought to you by 1-800-4BlindChicago.com. Call 773-447-5448 and get the sun out of your eyes.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Is President Trump overplaying his hand when it comes to zero-tolerance policy on illegal immigration? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. You heard that at the top of the news at the top of the hour, that this sort of bubbled over the weekend, and you've got immigration bills that are going to be taken up by House Republicans this week.
Yeah, there's two separate bills, a conservative bill and a moderate bill.
Right, and the more conservative bill, although both arguably cover in different ways the 4 tenets of the Trump immigration reform. Mike McCall, who's chairman of Homeland Security Committee, was on with Maria Bartiromo over the weekend to talk a little bit about what's going to happen this week in the House.
The president is fully committed to both of these bills. He has put the full weight of his office behind it. The McCall-Goodlatte bill, they both, I would say, provide the 4 pillars that I discussed with the president at that sort of famous roundtable discussion. Most importantly, from my perspective, Maria, it's got border security in there. It's got funding for the wall the president really wants. It's got the technology and boots on the ground. And the 4 pillars being ending chain migration, ending this random visa lottery system, providing border security, and a DACA solution. So I think, obviously, I'd like to see McCall-Goodlatte pass on the floor, and we wouldn't have to get to a second bill. But if it gets to that point, I do think this is a historic opportunity to advance a conservative agenda that we've been trying to do for the last 25 years to structurally change the way we do immigration.
And so the question is, will this potentially be undermined by the controversy surrounding separating parents from their children who enter this country illegally, of which it's reported some 2,000 minors taken from their parents between April 19th and the end of May, according to Department of Homeland Security.
It's barbaric. I mean, Laura Bush, former First Lady, wrote a really well-thought op-ed in the Washington Post where she said she's heartbroken. She said our government should not be in the business of warehousing children in converted box stores or making plans to place them in tent cities in the desert outside of El Paso. She compared the images are reminiscent of Japanese-American internment camps of World War II. In El Paso, they set up tents that are air-conditioned, but the kids they don't have blankets. They have those Mylar blankets, which, you see after a marathon, people wrap themselves in that. There are 100 kids who are 4 years old and younger who don't have their parents. They don't know where their parents are. And Laura Bush, in her article, went on to say that even people that are there, social workers that are there, are told not to comfort or touch the children. I don't understand. And President Trump has been blaming this on the Democrats.
I certainly wouldn't sign the more modest
What does the bill have to have in it?
I need a bill that gives this country tremendous border security. I have to have that. We have to get rid of catch and release.
Does that mean the wall?
We have to have the wall. If we don't have the wall, there's no bill. No, I hate it. I hate the children being taken away. The Democrats have to change their law. That's their law.
It's not their law. It's his law. It's the zero tolerance policy. Before, when you crossed illegally into this country, it was a civil disobedience, but now it's a crime. Or I'm sorry, a civil offense, but now it's criminal. That's why parents are being separated from their children.
Point of order, coming into this country illegally is a crime.
Okay, but it was treated in the past as a civil offense, not as a criminal offense. That's why parents are being separated from their children. They're converting, it's an old, Walmart in McLean, Texas, that they converted into this, camp where they have 4 separate pods where girls 17 and younger stay, the boys, and then they try to keep some family members together, especially the kids in diapers, but even some of them are being separated.
Kristen Nielsen, who's the Secretary of Homeland Security, responded to the press coverage of this, saying on Twitter, as I've said many times before, if you're seeking asylum for your family, there's no reason to break the law and illegally cross between ports of entry. For those seeking asylum at ports of entry, we have continued the policy from previous administrations, and will only separate if the child is in danger, there's no custodial relationship between family members, quote unquote, or if the adult has broken a law. She suggests that they're misreporting, as the press and, of course, the Democrats, the policy. Splitting family units only applies to some cases where immigrants try to come to the U.S. Between standard ports of entry, as opposed to the ports of entry and seek asylum, as she just outlined.
Well, Steve Bannon was defending President Trump and said that this is a good policy.
The president is enforcing a zero-tolerance policy. We've got to get security on the southern border. He has not been given his wall, and I believe he's going to enforce this policy.
And I just, as a mom, if I knew that this policy existed, that if I had to flee my country and enter into another country, if I knew my kids would be separated from me,
flee.
well, or if I was seeking a better life, I would never come into this country illegally.
Had to flee and seeking a better life are not synonyms. Those are not synonymous statements.
If
had to flee, go to a standard port of entry and seek asylum.
Right, but even people that are seeking asylum are being separated from their kids.
Yeah, well, that's a point of contention. Here's the thing, because I've said this before, and I know there's kind of this rush to just feed into the emotion of a particular case. When you don't enforce the law, when it is arbitrary and capricious, when an entire country loses faith in the rule of law as it pertains to border security, as well as in other realms, but let's focus on border security here, then there is not going to be much sympathy for the consequences that are visited upon people by people who refuse to enforce the rule of law. So I'm not so terribly interested in talking about breaking or eliminating the cap on H-1B visas, which I would otherwise philosophically be supportive of. Until you do the things you said you were going to do. This is a nation that cannot even eject convicted criminal illegal aliens without having them come back to this country repeatedly or stay here after they're released from prison. We're talking about violent criminals in addition to breaking the law
But
by
our
coming here
government
illegally.
is making process. They are making process with people who are here illegally and
Making
deporting.
process?
I mean, making progress. Excuse me.
Well, no. Until there is a legal regime with respect to immigration that is sensible, that covers those 4 pillars that Mike McCall talked about, that the president has talked about, and that accomplishes the simple task that every Democrat says they're supportive of and every Republican says they're supportive of, ejecting people from this country who have preyed on other people, whether they be American citizens or other people here illegally, ejecting violent criminals. We are not doing it.
No, but shouldn't we govern with a heart? I mean, these
We
kids
should-
are living. There's 20 kids in a kennel in Brownsville, Texas.
There is no rule of law if it's not enforced.
Well, Senator Jeff
Should
Merkley
be-
went and actually
I-
reviewed.
wait,
I know you're not done
wait.
talking yet. Okay.
So tell Kate Steinle's dad about governing with a heart.
Dan,
No,
these kids
don't, wait.
don't have their parents.
Don't-
They're horrified, and the social
don't-
workers that are there can't
Right.
comfort them.
If you want to play the heartstrings game, you can't play it in one direction. So what do you tell Kate Steinle's dad about governing with a heart? What do you tell Brian McCann on the South Side about his brother Denny and governing with a heart? What do you tell all of the families in this country who've been victimized by people who shouldn't be here, and everyone agrees they shouldn't be here, and the Democrats don't want to do anything about it? They don't want to do anything about it, so much so, governing with a heart, that they won't take Trump up on his offer to more than double, the eligible DACA designees as it pertains to permanent status. So you want to play the governing with a heart game? We can play that game,
Well,
but
why
you
are
got to
we
play it
using
in
kids
every
as-
direction.
But why are we using kids as political
We're not
pawns?
using kids as political pawns. The Democrats are, because they won't come to the table on reforming immigration, even consistent with the reforms they say they want. Will they? Where are they on DACA designations, permanent status for DACA recipients? The president wants to do it. I'll see your 800,000. I'll raise you 1 million, 1.8 million. Where are they? Because they won't fund a wall, because they're not serious about ending chain migration, because they don't want to talk about the diversity visa lottery, because they don't want to talk about doing anything substantive other than waving the flag on this issue with respect to violent criminals here illegally.
So all the Democratic politicians who have come forward, this is their fault.
It's Father's Day, damn it. And you have a right to talk to your children, and you don't even know where your children are.
Yawn. Yemi on the north side. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Amy. Okay, Amy, I know you're emotional right now. Okay, and Laura Bush, when for example, during their own tenure, that was when my parents were filing for me legally, right? They went emotional for 10 years for me to be in this country. So nobody's going to be emotional about the legal immigration. So it's going to be illegal, right? Thank you.
Thanks for the call, Yemi. Appreciate it. I mean, that's the whole other category of people that we just dismiss. We don't talk about the people that are going through the process and waiting, I think, too long in most cases where they've been clearly vetted, waiting too long to gain entry into this country, waiting too long to taking a process that's too long to become a naturalized citizen. I'm all for people coming to this country. I'm not all for this willy-nilly process that we have now, where it's just based on the whims of whoever the political power structure is at the moment. That's nonsense. And there's nothing compassionate about it, by the way. Jordan in Forest Park.
Yes, good morning. You know, there's basically three pillars to dealing with this whole thing. Number one, which I haven't heard Trump even talk about, are employer sanctions for hiring people that are here illegally. Number two, you got to do something about the border security, obviously.
E-Verify.
You got to remove all incentives for people that are, some family in El Salvador says, let's go to the U.S. because we'll get X, Y, Z or whatever. And you've got to deal with all of those three things. This is the same thing that Barbara Jordan talked about, 20 years ago. And still, the Republicans or the Democrats, they've never dealt with all three of those items.
Well, thanks for the call, Jordan, but that's not exactly correct.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Number one, E-Verify is in the McCall-Goodlatte bill. Number two, with respect to the incentives, I agree with that, and I think that maybe this is a separate piece of legislation. I've said for years and years and years, you want to provide a glide path for productive people who want to come into this country, sign away access to welfare state benefits. There's nothing constitutional about them, and that's a way to expedite your processing into this country.
Yeah.
I will not access the welfare state.
Yeah, that's, I understand and I agree that our immigration system isn't working, but I do not like the fact that kids, especially some that are still in diapers, are being separated from their families.
Nobody
if they
likes
kept them
that.
all together, well, let's be more humane and keep them together. I mean, it just doesn't make sense.
Well, if
And in McAllen, Texas, there are 11,000 people, or 1,100 people, excuse me, in that box store, that old Walmart, and they have 4 social workers.
So let me ask you a question. So the person who comes to this country illegally with their children has broken the law, right?
Yes.
Right. A person who
Can't we just send them back?
A person who robs a convenience store, well, we can, but there's a process. There's a process. Otherwise, the ACLU will be on the other side of that you're illegally deporting them. A person who robs a convenience store has broken the law, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the person who robs a convenience store because he's a mother or father, should he be separated from his children?
Well, he would be separated from his children because he'd be going to jail.
Right. Do you see the comparison?
Yeah, but there are some that are seeking asylum here because one woman they featured, on BEZ, one woman, she said that she was beaten repeatedly by her drug dealer boyfriend, or the father of her child, so she's escaped to the U.S.
Right, but if you don't come through a standard port of entry, then you're going to make things more difficult on yourself because of exactly what the Homeland Security Secretary said.
So you have to go to a point of entry, fill out that you're seeking asylum papers.
Right.
And then hopefully you still won't be separated from your kids.
Well, or but at least then you're following a process. You're either granted asylum or you're not. And then you return to your home country with your family intact, or you stay here with your family intact.
All of the kids that are being held in Brownsville, McLean, and El Paso get 2 hours outside a day. They do get 3 square meals, and some sleep on the floor, some sleep on mattresses that are on the floor, and some sleep in beds.
Alex in West Dundee.
Yeah, these poor kids are probably getting better care where they're at now than if they were in Mexico with their parents. But once again, don't blame the parents who are bringing them here illegally. Everybody gets emotional and wants to change the laws. The parents are to blame for coming here illegally, and then we're enforcing the law, and then you get the kids on TV, and everybody's got to get emotional. And now we're going to change the law just because there's a couple kids. They're probably eating McDonald's and having a good time, like the rest of the kids in America. Probably got Xboxes already, too.
No.
I wouldn't feel too bad for them.
Thanks for the call, Alex.
Alex, why don't you, learn something and go on, or maybe even watch the news and see where these kids are being housed. I don't see any toys. I see them in cages. 20 of them are in a kennel, and then they let them outside for 2 hours a day.
Yeah,
they do have washrooms. They have portable showers and those tents in El Paso.
To 20 of them are in a kennel. Are you referring to that picture that has been debunked?
Oh, gosh, no.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, but so we understand that was the policy of the previous administration as well.
Yeah, I understand. I'm just saying that.
So it's not. So to the point is what Kristen Nielsen said is true. This is a continuation of policy from previous administrations.
Mm-hmm. I just want it to end. Keep the families together. Then send them home.
Then talk to your friends like Mike Quigley. Paul in New Lenox.
Great show. Dan, you're spot on. Amy, you're really on thin ice because of your emotions. But if the parents entered at a point of entry, and correct me if I'm wrong, Dan, they entered at a designated point of entry at the border, they would be able to stay with their parents. But because they choose to enter illegally at a different point of entry, that's why they're being separated. That's a comment.
Thanks for the call,
And
Paul.
I know it's CNN and I know it's ABC News, but they have both featured families that were seeking asylum that filled out the correct paperwork, and they were still separated from their kids.
Barbara in Wilmette.
Hi. I just agree with Dan. I was just going to say that, and that gentleman that just called said, if the parents can't go across, if they're not allowed to go across, You don't leave your child. I'm not going to leave. I wouldn't have ever left my child. I mean, you just don't do that. And Mike Gallagher was saying that last Friday. You know, you don't leave your kids. It's simple. I mean, yeah, they want to come across. You know, I want a lot of things I can't have. So, you know, that's it.
Thanks for the call, Barbara. And here's what's happening. The Democrats see political capital to be gained here. The polling on this, Ipsos poll, Republicans in favor of the zero tolerance policy, 46-32. Meanwhile, only 14% of Democrats surveyed support it, and only 29% of independents. So only a quarter of those surveyed overall support the policy, and the Democrats think if they can gin up enough emotional reaction to it, then they can advance their political interests. Oh, by the way, at the expense of the very children they say they're rallying to support. It's a big scam. It's a big fraud, and that's what our immigration legal regime has become, and that's why there's the impetus to change it. But it's not going to be easy, and it's not going to be without the demagoguery.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Whatever happened to Jaime the gardener? But first, here's your forecast. Today, some sun. It's going to be hot and humid, a high of 93 degrees. Then we're going to have a storm blow through here this evening, which is going to drastically drop the temperatures, which is a good thing because we've been in an excessive heat warning for days now. A high tomorrow of 77 degrees. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Hey, man, Chicago's west side, Loomis is closed. Roosevelt to 14th after a shooting. And to the northwest of there, Adams is closed. Police investigation of an earlier incident, this closure of Adams and Sealy and Levin. Eden Spur, heavy eastbound starting at the Waukegan Road area. And then it's slow on the Eden-Cicero to the junction. 21 minutes either way between Lycook and Montrose. Kennedy, 33 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 43. Heavy airport traffic on 190 in both directions. Eisenhower, 50 minutes. 390 to downtown, outbound 35. Northbound I-55 is jammed. Past Lockport Road to 53 with crash in the left lane. Farther north of Stevenson, running 54 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound tri-state delays. 95th to the Vine Long Bridge, from Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis, and from Reagan Silver to the Bensonville Bridge. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I'm Mark Gastineau. I played in the NFL for 10 years. I was diagnosed with CTE, with dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's. The fruits and vegetables that we take from Balance of Nature is the best thing that we could ever do. And I'm calling in now to order extra because my wife has been taking mine because she sees a difference in me. It is a wonderful thing that Balance of Nature is doing. I hear the testimonies on the radio, but I'm a testimony for myself. And the fruits and vegetables, if I don't take them every single day, my day is not going to go the same. So God bless you, and thank you for what you've done for my wife and I.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Your local 1-hour heating and air conditioning knows how miserable it feels when your AC goes out. You want it fixed fast, fixed right, and get a fast quote. Unlike some companies, we don't give you a quote until we actually see what the problem is. Then we'll give you our straightforward price and always stand by our work. Right now, get savings on any AC repair. Call 855-1-HOUR.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1-HOUR.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
You wouldn't put a square peg in a round hole, so why would you deploy a traditional firewall in a modern decentralized network? Firewalls have new requirements for businesses leveraging SaaS-based applications and public cloud platforms like AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud. We're in the cloud generation now, so your firewalls have to be engineered to fit right in.
Reclaim your cloud network. Try a Barracuda Cloud Generation Network or application firewall free at barracuda.com/firewalls.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-500-5588. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-500-5588 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-500-5588 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-500-5588.
Millwright work is often technical and requires a high degree of precision. The pros at Vans Industrial are skilled mechanics that can perform any type of millwright work, including installation and maintenance of your factory equipment and machinery. For your machine repair needs, look no further than Vans Industrial.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. Vans Industrial is an industrial millwright contractor that can install new mechanical systems or repair existing systems. Our services include repair of bearings, shafts, shiv alignments, as well as installation of conveyors and bucket elevators. Our team of trained mechanics will respond to your emergency calls 24/7, keeping your systems operational. We're here to help you.
Call 833-VANS-IND for a free inspection of your facility. That's 833-VANS-IND. Interested in what else they do? Visit vansindustrial.com. That's VANS industrial.com. Quality craftsmanship since 1964.
Hi, Barry Sterner, owner of Townstone Financial. I could talk to you all day about how I feel about Townstone's service, low closing costs, and great rates. But how about listening to one of our customers?
My name's Elisa French. We've had such good experience with Townstone Financial and specifically Barry Sterner that when my mom was looking to move to Chicago, the first thing I said to her was, she had to call Townstone and got in touch with Barry Sterner, which again, amazing relationship. My sisters, when I am able to ask a question, and I have many questions when it comes to this, he really almost holds my hand with his knowledge and explains in such an easy way, and it makes me feel comfortable. So it's easy for me to recommend him.
Remember, nobody values your business more than Townstone Financial, and I'm always available to answer your questions. Call me now, Barry Sterner, 312-896-2111. That's 312-896-2111. Or go to townstone.com. That's TOWNSTONE.com.
Townstone Financials, Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida, Illinois, mortgage licensee 6629 and NMLS 136639, equal housing lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Harvard and other leftist bigots discriminate against Asian Americans. We're going to talk to the president of the Asian American Coalition for Education about the Asian awakening to the left's discriminatory policies at the K through 12 and higher ed levels. That's at 6:36.
And later, are you a bad person if you have a low Uber score? We'll explain. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Good morning, everyone. We have sunshine right now and warming up again. We're at 80 degrees. Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen saying there's no policy of separating families at the border. Nielsen saying Sunday there's been a misrepresentation from the media and advocacy groups about what's going on. For those immigrants seeking asylum, Nielsen says there's no need to cross illegally and risk any separation. Senator Jeff Merkley, though, is speaking out against the Trump administration policy right now of separating illegal immigrant parents from their children.
It's completely unacceptable under any moral code or under any religious tradition to injure children, inflict trauma on them in order to send some political message to adults somewhere overseas.
White House advisor Kellyanne Conway insists immigrant children are not being separated from their parents at the border. as leverage to get concessions on immigration policy.
I certainly don't want anybody to use these kids as leverage. I saw a headline that breathlessly screamed as much, and I object to that very forcefully.
On NBC's Meet the Press, Conway emphasized it's Democrats that are blocking funding for new family detention centers. In other news we're following this morning, a strong earthquake has struck near Osaka, Japan, killing 3, injuring at least 40, and knocking over walls and buildings. British transport police say 3 have been killed by a train in southern London, and French police are investigating an attack by a woman at a convenience store that has injured 2 with a box cutter. Emergency responders are on the scene, and mandatory evacuations are going on right now in an Indiana community after a train derailed overnight. Several cars caught fire. It's happening in the town of Princeton, that's near Evansville. CSX, the train company, says preliminary reports show there is a release from a rail car carrying propane. Chicago police tell us they continue to investigate possible wide-ranging shooting near 13th and Loomis, south of the Eisenhower Expressway. Multiple injuries are reported. Sweltering heat blanketing Chicago area today. An excessive heat warning is in effect in Cook County until tonight, when a heat advisory will remain in effect. And Illinois is on the list of another food recall, this time over veggie trays. The Illinois Department of Public Health issuing a recall for Del Monte veggie trays and a dip that had a best if used by date of June 17. Cardinals blanked the Cubs 5-0 at Busch. Tigers took down the White Sox 3-1 in Chicago. The 2018 NBA Draft is on tap Thursday in Brooklyn, and Brooks Koepka is your winner of the U.S. Open for the 2nd straight year. The news service of Napa this month at participating Napa Auto Parts stores. A 3-pack of Peak microfiber cloths are just $1.99. Plus, with each purchase, Napa will make a donation to the Intrepid Fallen Heroes Fund. That's Napa know-how while supplies last. 6:34 is our time. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The Dennis Prager Show. Dennis Prager Show.
Criticizing some of the liberal media's coverage of the U.S.-North Korea summit on denuclearization, President Donald Trump said America's biggest enemy is fake news, which is so easily promulgated by fools. It's 100% accurate. America's greatest enemy is fake news. That's right.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee. Roasted fresh daily in Batavia, Illinois.
Sometimes when it rains, it pours right into your basement. This is Gus from Chicagoland Waterproofing. My mission is to identify why your home is taking on water and fix it. I want you to sleep at night during a rainstorm and not worry about your basement filling up with water. Like our client Kim from Mount Prospect.
We had chronic basement flooding and no one could figure out why. During a huge storm, water was pouring in through the window wells of our finished basement and we had to bail out 6 inches of water. We got a bunch of estimates, but Gus's was the most reasonable, plus he knew exactly what the problem was. He put in a full basement drain tile system and an additional sub pump with a backup battery. Chicagoland Waterproofing gave us peace of mind. I like to say, in Gus we trust.
From simple sump pumps to complex storm drainage and crack foundation solutions, Chicagoland Waterproofing's work comes with a lifetime warranty. Plus, a fully licensed plumber is always on staff. Request your estimate today at ChicagolandWaterproofingPros.com or call 847-296-3500.
It is 6:36. Let's get an update on the morning ride to work in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Northbound Tri-State traffic slow 95th to the Mylong Bridge, from the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis, and from the Reagan Tillway to the Bensonville Bridge. The northbound Veterans Memorial now has a brief delay. Butterfield to Roosevelt. Aidensburg eastbound stop and go Waukegan Road to the Aidens. Then it's 27 minutes like Cook to Montrose, outbound 24. Kennedy, you get 35 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 54 minutes. 20 to get to Montrose. 190 has delays in both directions, heavier westbound. Eisenhower, 50 minutes. 390 to downtown, outbound 35. Northbound I-55 is a mess past Lockport Road to 53 after a crash, and the Stevenson is 58 minutes, 3:55 to the drive. The Ryan 30 to I-50 downtown. Traffic service of Aruba Tourism. Happy Island of Aruba is nestled in the southern Caribbean outside the hurricane belt. Picture-perfect weather is practically guaranteed. Hop a daily nonstop flight from O'Hare to one happy island. Plan your Aruba vacation today at Aruba.com. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Some sun today, hot and humid. An afternoon thunderstorm, late afternoon thunderstorm. Watch out for that extreme heat. Strong storms developing overnight as well, too, a possibility. Low 65. Currently 80 degrees. Next news coming up at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Watch today's show live right now on the Income Store live video stream at 560theanswer.com.
You want more than just the headlines? Find out what's going on and what it means with me, Dennis Prager, this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Speaking of our friend and brother in sound, Dennis Prager, Prager University released a new video last week featuring Jordan Peterson talking about who educates your children. It's worth a listen. And one of the distillations Jordan Peterson does of higher ed and just education in general in this country in terms of who's in charge, the leftist, postmodernist, cultural Marxist, bigots. There's only two categories of people. Two categories of people in this country, and thus in charge or not in charge.
You're an exemplar of your race, sex, or sexual preference. You're also either a victim or an oppressor. No wrong can be done by anyone in the former group, and no good by the latter. Such ideas of victimization do nothing but justify the use of power and engender intergroup conflict.
And that's what is happening in the Ivy League and Harvard specifically. It's happening all over, but there's a particular lawsuit at Harvard, as well as in K through 12 education, and most notably in New York City. You have Asian Americans who have been deemed by these leftist, postmodernist, cultural Marxist bigots to be oppressors, not victims. They're with us whites, according to the likes of Harvard and the Sandinistan mayor of New York City, de Blasio. Just to give you a sense of what we're talking about here. At Harvard, Dr. Betsy Nabel, she's the president of the teaching hospital at Harvard Medical School. She made the call to take down its prominent display of past medical legends at Harvard because there are too many white men that are that have their portraits up at the hospital.
Oh.
30 portraits have to be taken down because the paintings reinforce that white men are in charge. So you see those white men that were great doctors apparently, and thus they're profiled in the teaching hospital. Their accomplishments don't matter. All that matters is their gender and their race. The merits of what they did in their lives doesn't matter. Only their race and their gender matter. You get the gist of this? Let me give you another example. This is from a pending lawsuit. Harvard and New York Times reporting on Friday, Harvard consistently rated Asian American applicants lower than others on traits like positive personality, likability, courage, kindness, and being widely respected. This is an analysis of more than 160,000 student records filed Friday by a group representing Asian American students in a lawsuit against the university. Asian Americans scored higher than applicants of any other racial or ethnic group on admissions measures like test scores, grades, extracurricular activities, according to the analysis. But the students' personal ratings significantly dragged down their chances of being admitted. So Harvard is doing an end run around anti-discriminatory policies by essentially pushing down the scores that are conferred for subjective criteria like your personality or your courage or your kindness. So denigrating the personal characteristics of Asian Americans as a group so as to avoid having to admit more on the merits than they would otherwise have to admit. How you like that? Is that the big, inclusive, tolerant left that we're told exists? How about Mayor de Blasio's plan in New York City? Eliminate the city's specialized high schools admissions test and replace it with a requirement that the top 7% of every middle school in New York City be admitted to a specialized high school. So it essentially eliminates the meritocratic approach, the applications process, for one that is predicated on demographics to the benefit of some minority groups at the expense of other minority groups like Asian Americans who just, as a group, perform better. Is that right? Is that consistent with meritocracy? Is that consistent with colorblindness? Is that consistent with kind of the anti-discriminatory environment in which we would all like to live? Judge people on the merits, on the content of their character? For more on this, we're pleased to be joined by Yukong Zhao. He is the president of the Asian American Coalition for Education. Mr. Zhao, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Dan.
So what is your organization's posture with respect to the lawsuit that's been filed against Harvard, the policy change that Mayor de Blasio in New York City is pushing, as well as just I think what we're starting to understand is more and more universities, in particular, doing what Harvard is doing, but getting away with it to this point?
Yeah, my organization strongly denounces any form of discrimination, in particularly the attempt to change admission standard, either in college admissions or in the high schools. You know, we are appalled by Harvard, the discrimination evidence, committed by Harvard. You know, they not only utilize stereotype, racial stereotype. What's on that is they use racial balancing. You know, according to Students for Fair Admission, each year Harvard always use racial statistic to have like some adjustment, and at the end of admission process, they try to balance all the student ratio, the different ratios according to last year. This is de facto racial code, has been banned by the U.S. Supreme Court since 1978. And that's immoral. Another point I want to emphasize, that they have nonsense about Asian American community. Asian American community are hardworking, one of the greatest contributors to this country. We have lowest crime rate. We have highest marriage stabilities. We have a lot of artists, a lot of scientists contributed to the American economic prosperity and engineering, technology innovation. So that kind of stereotype is totally nonsense.
So besides this lawsuit that was filed in federal court, what else can you do to fight back?
We already filed the complaint in 2015 with the Department of Justice. Department of Justice has started the investigation, and also we're pushing for the overall policy change. I want to mention something. In 2011, the Obama administration issued a policy guidance regarding college admission. But in that policy guidance, they never emphasized the ban of racial quota, the ban of using the higher standard against Asian American children, the ban of using the racial stereotype. But that policy more focused on how to, promote racial balancing. They treat people, look at people based on race, by skin color, not by the performance, by their character. So that is wrong. So currently, the policy on college admissions still Obama era's policy. So we want to push that, to be changed. We want to, have policy is color blind and also emphasize all children's performance and also character.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Accounting professor at Pace University in New York, said in a piece that Bill McGurn wrote in the Wall Street Journal last week. For years, Asian Americans have been viewed as the model minority, quote unquote, quiet and well-behaved. And it seems like a lot of Asian Americans are quiet no longer because they understand the threat that they're up against with respect to their children and their children's educational future. And that manifests itself in one respect with this protest against de Blasio's policy in New York, where you had 1,000 New Yorkers show up and protest at City Hall a week ago Sunday, and it was mostly Asian Americans. So is part of the approach to be more vocal, too, be more vocal in the political process, be more engaged in the political process, because you've got to hold politicians to account for the policy changes they're advocating to the detriment of, Asian families.
That is correct. I have, immigrated to the U.S. for more than 20 years. I would say ever since 2014 and ever since California introduced SAI 5, try to restore the race-based college admission in California, ever since that, an Asian American community have waken up. Basically, we organize a lot of demonstrations and also organize this kind of civil complaint against this kind of racial discrimination. And the week before the demonstration in New York is another good sign. One thing I want to point it out: the New York mayor de Blasio, actually, his act is a political cover-up because he failed Black and Hispanic community in the public school in New York from grade 3 to 8. The processing rate for Black and Hispanic children is only half as the processing rate of the white and Asian American children.
Yeah, so
really, they failed that.
This is
pretty much a political cover.
This is a great point, actually, right? What you're saying that so they're scapegoating Asian Americans for what they have failed to do. Big city mayors, the Ivy League, even in terms of educating other groups, or the disproportionate performance of other groups or participation in the selective schools or in Ivy League schools by other groups. It's been a failure of the people who are in charge, so they're looking for scapegoats. It's white oppressors or it's Asian American kids who do too well in school.
Exactly. And also another thing, one of the biggest problems in this country is the teachers' union. In China, when we had cultural revolutions, the Maoists really do not measure anybody's performance. Everybody, based on seniority. Currently, America, the teachers' union promotes this. Okay, they don't take measure on teachers. So in this case, many public school fails, and then they don't want to address the root cause of the public schools, the failure of public schools. They just use Asian American children as a scapegoat for their failure.
All right, he is Yukong Zhao, Mr. Yukong Zhao, who's the president of the Asian American Coalition for Education. Mr. Zhao, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate your time.
Okay, thank you for having me.
All right.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Congress set for a vote on immigration bills this week. Citigroup settling for $100 million and McDonald's dropping plastic straws. Those stories next.
Attention American patriots. If you want to boost your stock market returns by tens of thousands of dollars to levels most people will never achieve, you're going to love a new investment research service called Profits Unlimited. A small group of everyday Americans have begun using Profits Unlimited, and they're absolutely loving it. Peter Jacobs from Easton, Maryland says his stock account is already up well over $100,000. Mark Hogan from Fort Collins, Colorado has made $110,000 than $91,000, and Jeff and Valerie Brown, a retired couple from upstate New York, pocketed over $1.6 million thanks to Profits Unlimited. We've heard from thousands of folks all across America telling us how Profits Unlimited has helped them make a fortune and forever change their lives. Now it's your turn. To get all the details, just go to ProfitsUnlimited.com. Don't wait. Go to ProfitsUnlimited.com while there is still time.
President Trump has now cast doubt on the future of immigration legislation in the House this week. Friday, President Trump blasted one bill crafted by so-called moderates. The president says his number one priority is the security of the American border with Mexico. Citigroup to pay $100 million to settle charges that the bank manipulated interest rates on credit card and mortgage accounts. The world's largest hamburger chain going green. McDonald's switching to paper straws in the United Kingdom and Ireland, says it will test alternative straws at U.S. restaurants later this year. McDonald's has been pressured to scrap plastic straws that are a risk to sea life. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 11 Eastern, on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
If you're a business owner, you've experienced your fair share of emergencies, and they always happen at the worst time. Wouldn't it be nice to have someone on call 24/7 to help for whatever may come up? It's not possible for every emergency, but it is available for your business's IT and computer services and their system. With a support agreement from Turnkey IT, they will keep your computer systems online, running with no worries. If an emergency does pop up, Turnkey IT is prompt and responsive without charging an enormous after-hours rate. The certified pros at Turnkey proactively keep your business computer systems online with remote and on-site support. And right now, for limited time, you can save up to $500 a month on a support contract plus unlimited cloud backup at no cost. Enjoy the secure feeling of your network being supported by Turnkey IT 24/7. Visit turnkey.pro. That's turnkey.pro.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule. Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that use Balance of Nature as well.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. I take Balance of Nature because I know, I've seen it in my lab, and I know that it works. I've seen the immune response increase, I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection. And that, to me, as a scientist, rings so true.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
If you own a business, you'll do everything you can to keep the lights on. The thing is, keeping those lights on can be much more cost-effective than you ever imagined. And Twin Supplies can help. Twin Supplies specializes in helping businesses, public entities, and nonprofits get energy efficient with their lighting and take advantage of incentives from utility companies to help with energy improvement costs. From restaurants to schools, churches, and stadiums, they'll walk you through every step to realize maximum money savings in energy efficiency. Your maintenance staff will spend less time changing bulbs with worry-free fixtures that feature up to a 10-year warranty. Plus, the quality of your lighting will improve, resulting in improved working conditions and safety. Find out how much your commercial business can save with a free energy audit from Twin Supplies. Utility companies change their incentives frequently and funds can run out. Now is the time to take action. Don't wait. Call 630-590-5138 or log on to twinsupplies.net and take charge of your business's energy efficiency. Twinsupplies.net.
Hey guys, Ken here from the Business Accelerator podcast, Today's Growth. If you had to choose a vehicle to take you up the rocky side of a mountain, would you choose a Ferrari or a Jeep? The Ferrari's faster, cooler, maybe even sexier, but if you have to get to the top, the Jeep's a better bet. I think we can agree getting to the top is not about the driver, it's the vehicle. Have you noticed people often pick their financial vehicle like they pick their cars? Washington Post shared that only 1 out of 4 people choose a job that uses their college degree. Why? Simple. Something more immediate, maybe cooler, maybe even sexier came along first. Shouldn't the main deciding factors for revenue generation be production or output? Should the cool factor have any weight in choosing someone's income? If getting to the top of the financial mountain is mission critical for you, why not add a few Jeeps to your garage? Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that makes it to the top every time? If so, you have to see the Jeeps lined up at IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
Nowadays, there's an app for everything, and here's one that's a must-have if you golf. It's the Bolingbrook Golf Club mobile app, and it'll enhance your golf experience. You can book tee times at Bolingbrook Golf Club. There's an interactive scorecard, golf games, a GPS, latest news from the club, even a food and beverage menu, Facebook sharing, and more. Just about everything you need for your golf game besides the clubs is in the palm of your hand with the new Bolingbrook Golf Club mobile app. Go to BolingbrookGolfClub.com/contact/download our app. BolingbrookGolfClub.com/contact/download our app. And download today.
Have a young golf enthusiast? Keep them busy this summer with the 2018 Robito Golf Academy Junior Golf Program at Bolingbrook Golf Club. It's a great chance for youngsters to learn golf fundamentals and get warmed up for the golf season by the professional teaching staff at Bolingbrook Golf Club. There are special programs divided into age groups, and sessions are still available but going fast. Get more info at BolingbrookGolfClub.com and click on driving range, then junior golf.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, that one-on-one throwdown between Jimmy Kimmel and Ted Cruz took place over the weekend.
Oh, yeah, it was good. I watched some highlights. Did you see it? Ted Cruz isn't bad. He was a shooting forward in high school, and he still has that skill set. I was very impressed with his jump shot.
Yeah, that must have been some very stylized clips you saw, because while Ted Cruz beat Kimmel...
By 11 points, right?
No, he beat him 11-9.
Oh.
2-hour one-on-one match. 2 hours to get to 11-9.
That was a fundraiser.
And it was a game to 15, but since neither of them appeared like they were going to get to 15 anytime soon,
So they called it.
whoever got the 2 point, 1 by 2, they called it. Yeah.
Were they playing by 1 or playing by 2? No, they're playing by 1.
They're playing by 1, and you had to win by
right.
2.
Okay.
The Houston Chronicle describing the matchup as a slow-motion car crash of half-court basketball. Kimmel, speaking for both men, said, "We apologize to the game of basketball." Dr. James Naismith spinning still.
Oh, my gosh. That was great. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll pick up the conversation about higher ed with our celebrated Campus Beat segment at 7:07.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
The men need to read Wooden's Triangle of Success, maybe, and then they would have been better. Here are the stories we're watching this morning. Yeah, Pyramid of Success, you're right. Sweltering heat to hit Chicagoland today. Boy killed, a mother hurt, a sibling hurt in a Burbank hit-and-run crash. Chicago police investigating a wide-ranging shooting near 13th and Loomis this morning. Cards shut out the Cubs. Tigers take down the Sox. WIND, Chicago News Time, 7.
The immigration issue gets even louder. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That protest outside a facility in Texas housing children separated from parents detained for entering the U.S. illegally. Some Democratic lawmakers visited there and a facility in New Jersey, and some Republicans joined them opposing the policy. Senator Susan Collins told CBS.
It is inconsistent with our American values to separate these children from their parents.
But President Trump blames Democrats following a policy he says they created. They deny that. At least 5 people are dead in South Texas after an SUV crammed with a dozen suspected illegal immigrants crashed while being chased by Border Patrol. The Justice Department's Inspector General, who put out that report on the Hillary Clinton investigation, testifies at the Senate later today. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
The IG report found that anti-Trump text messages between FBI agent Peter Strzok and FBI attorney Lisa Page potentially indicated or created the appearance that investigative decisions were impacted by bias or improper considerations. Rudy Giuliani, the president's personal attorney, appeared on CBS's Face the Nation.
How much did he infect that probe with his own very, very extreme positions? I don't know, but I sure want to find out.
FBI Director Chris Wray, who said that nothing in the report impugns the integrity of the FBI, is expected to face some tough questions during the hearing. Dave?
John, an earthquake shook up Japan, killing at least 3 people in Osaka, including a schoolgirl hit by a falling concrete wall. More than 300 others were injured. Gunfire at a Walmart in Tumwater, Washington. A man was shot and a teenage girl injured in carjacking attempts yesterday. Then an armed bystander shot the gunman, killing him.
He is a hero. I mean,
He was carrying a concealed weapon, which was great. I mean, it's totally legal.
This is Fox News. Fair and balanced.
Sunshine this morning, 80 degrees, 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. We're watching a developing situation in Indiana this morning where emergency responders have ordered a mandatory evacuation of many parts of an Indiana community of about 10,000 after a train derailed nearby and several cars caught fire. It's a mandatory evacuation after a train derailed in Princeton, that's near Evansville in southwest Indiana. CSX, the train carrier, reports a release from a rail car carrying propane may have caused that fire. Chicago police tell us as they continue to investigate a possible wide-ranging shooting, there are injuries near 13th and Loomis, south of the Eisenhower Expressway. Sweltering heat will continue to blanket Chicagoland today. An excessive heat warning is in effect for Cook County until tonight when a heat advisory kicks in. Lines of thunderstorms crawled across northern Minnesota, northern Wisconsin, and the UP of Michigan Sunday. Overnight flash flooding washed out roads and highways. National Weather Service says rainfall rates exceeded 2 inches per hour in many places, and some vacationers are stranded. Authorities are searching for the driver involved in a hit-and-run crash that killed a 9-year-old boy and injured his mother and sibling in Burbank. Walgreens plans to relocate 1,800 employees to Chicago's former main post office, including about 1,300 workers who will move from its north suburban headquarters campus. The Deerfield-based drugstore giant will keep the majority of its employees at its Deerfield World Campus. Cardinals avoid the 3-game sweep. They blank the Cubs 5-0 at Busch. Tigers take down the White Sox 3-1. Brooks Koepka is your U.S. Open winner. Mexico stuns defending champion Germany 1-0 in Sunday World Cup action. Sweden and South Korea will battle today in the World Cup. Belgium facing Panama, and Tunisia and England will battle today. The news, a service of Accountemps. When you could use help closing your books and need additional staff, it's time to call Accountemps. They can provide you with bookkeepers and other accounting and finance professionals on a temporary or project basis and fast. Call today. Accountemps, a Robert Half company. 7:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity says the collusion investigation could have been much easier.
Why didn't they ever go to the Trump campaign? And if James Comey was so upset in the spring of 2016, why didn't James Comey go to President Trump and say, look, we're watching this guy. He's associated with your campaign. Boom. Case over. Close up shop, Robert Mueller.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
When working at a growing business, you wear many hats. The new business hat, the buying toner for the copy machine hat, the sifting through tons of resumes hat. You can throw away that last hat thanks to Indeed.com. When posting your job, Indeed lets you add screener questions that give you a less time-consuming route to your short list of qualified candidates. So go ahead, dust off that extra long lunch hat. Hiring's better when you've got your short list. Save time on hiring when you post a job on Indeed. Get started today at Indeed.com/hire.
What happened? You used to go hours without visiting the bathroom. Now it seems like you're constantly getting up to pee. Listen, the makers of Super Beta Prostate are introducing a new wonder pill, Super Beta Prostate P3 Advanced, with 3 key ingredients that are great for your prostate. To celebrate, your first 30-day supply is free. Pay shipping and handling. Get P3 Advanced free. Call 1-800-215-9360. 1-800-215-9360. 1-800-215-9360.
Famous conservative quotes, presented by Automated Systems.
Airline executive Willis Player once told the New York Times, "A liberal is a person whose interests aren't at stake at the moment." That just about sums up what many conservatives still believe to be true.
I know you support companies that share your conservative values. For FDA-regulated staffing needs, Automated Systems provides top talent, from experienced quality control and quality assurance engineers to top validation and compliance experts. Depend depend on automated systems. Hiring the best is critical to success. ASI Resources are all degreed professionals with decades of experience in manufacturing, automation, and FDA compliance. That's why ASI is retained by all of Chicagoland's Fortune 500 life science companies to successful startups. For a staffing evaluation, call Laz at Automated Systems, toll-free 844-HIRE-ASI, or visit automatedsys.com.
7:07 and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Streets are blocked around 13th and Loomis after that shooting. The west side Adams is closed and Sealy and Levitt. Investigation of an earlier incident. Edens Spur eastbound delays start at Waukegan Road, then the Edens runs 27 minutes like Cook to Montrose outbound 24. Kennedy, 42 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 20 from Montrose, 18 in the Express. Outbound 30 minutes to Montrose, but an hour and 12 minutes from downtown to the airport. Got Eisenhower, 52 minutes from 390 to downtown. It's 37 minutes from Mannheim, outbound 40, 390. Northbound I-55 jammed Lockport Road to 53 after a crash. And the Stevenson is an hour and 6 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 45 minutes. Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State heavy, 111th to the Hinsdale Oasis, the Reagan Tollway to the Bensonville Bridge, and Irving Park to Balmoral with a crash in the left lane. Reagan Tollway slow 83 to the Tri-State, Baton Rouge Memorial from I-55 to St. Charles and Lake to 290. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Excessive heat warning in effect until 7 p.m. this evening. Hot and humid with sunshine and some clouds today. A shower or thunderstorm late in the afternoon and into the evening. Extreme heat dangerous for outdoor activities. High today 93. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Mostly sunny and 78. Next news coming up at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by The Lou Bridges Show, a show about the greatest financial crime in history. Saturday mornings at 8 on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
It's time for Dan Proft's Parenting Tips. Whoa! Dan Proft's Parenting Tips. Whoa! Tell your kids to shut up and listen to him.
You're a child.
It still makes me laugh.
Okay, I'm not a father. I just recently celebrated Father's Day, but
I said
paying
Happy
it
Father's
forward.
Day to you, and I went, oh, I'm sorry.
Well, that's fine. I'm paying it forward. For example, yesterday, my contribution
Yeah?
was a little dad humor during the U.S. Open when Tommy Fleetwood shot a U.S. Open record-tying 63 after shooting 78 on Saturday.
Ooh.
I tweeted.
What did you tweet?
After a tough round on Saturday, Tommy Fleetwood told himself, "Don't stop thinking about tomorrow."
Oh, is it so funny?
It's dad humor. It's not funny.
Can we get a snare drum? That's really funny.
Yeah, thank you.
Dun-dun-dun.
That's why I'm
Did
paying
you get
it
a lot
forward.
of likes and retweets?
I don't know.
Do people like you on
I don't
Twitter?
I don't get the dopamine hit from the likes and retweets. I assume nobody listens to me. I'm just entertaining myself, frankly. I
That
don't
is
care.
good, though.
The dangers of distracted parenting, quote unquote. Technoference, quote unquote. Other quote unquote words invented by psychologists to talk about child development. Very interesting piece by Erica Christakis in The Atlantic on the dangers of distracted parenting. Are you a distracted parent who is negatively impacting your child's development? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Emerging research suggests that a key problem involving child development, more screen-obsessed young children. More than screen-obsessed young children.
It's awful.
No? Wait for it.
Yes.
an underappreciated problem with child development more than screen-obsessed young children. Tuned out parents.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah. Guess what we used to call? Remember Marcus Brown? He's our program director, don't you know?
Sure, I remember.
We used to call it Uncle iPad. Who's watching the kids today? Uncle iPad is.
Well, it's
because
interesting.
it's easier because kids are, they're growing up with iPads and with iPhones and with all this technology. And it really, if you wanted to get something done, you'd say, here, watch TV. And then that changed to, here, play with the iPad. While I go, not leave the house, but while you do, you do some errands inside your house.
And this is
clean
how
the kitchen, or you
yeah.
make the beds, or you do the laundry.
Right. And this is how you end up with a 30-year-old in your basement. Despite a dramatic increase in the percentage of women in the workforce, mothers today actually spend more time caring for their children than mothers did in the 60s. But the engagement between parent and child is increasingly low quality. Parents are constantly present in their children's lives physically, but they are less emotionally attuned.
Well, there is a digital addiction. I'm not going to ever deny that. But it's gotten to the point where you go to restaurants and the mom pops up the iPhone or the iPad and doesn't have the kid wear headphones. And so everybody's listening to the movie. And that's happened at an airport where I went to this one. I was on a plane sitting in first class, and the lady next to me had her daughter watching a movie without headsets on. And I said, excuse me, your child needs to put on headset. What if all of us on this plane just decided to watch movies without headsets? It's called noise pollution. And as a mother, you need to get headsets on your kid.
Okay,
that is not acceptable.
I don't think you're quite getting the point.
I'm just venting.
You just here are things that annoy me.
Mothers,
okay,
this
I got
mothers
that.
and dads should know. And then I said something, and then they gave me the stink eye, and I said, "No, I'm right. Put headsets on your kid, and that goes for if you're on a plane, at a restaurant, even waiting in line to board a plane.
So did they?
You don't need to hear your noise.
Did they give you the stink eye and then also try and hi hat you? Because I'll take the stink eye, but if you try and hi hat me,
it's a hi hat me. Okay. No, they put headphones on the
go see Miller's
child.
Crossing, and you'll find out what
fine.
a hi hat is. All right, so
but
here.
back to this.
Yeah,
yes.
but
kids now.
I'm glad you were able to get that out.
Thank you. I feel
You don't
better.
want to let that fester. The issue is continuous partial attention. It's a condition that's not just harming the adult; it's harming the children. The new parental interaction style can interrupt an ancient emotional cueing system whose hallmark is responsive communication. So, one experiment to bring this to fruition here. 9-month-old babies who received a few hours of Mandarin instruction from a live human could isolate specific phonetic elements in the language, while another group of babies who received the exact same instruction via video could not. And this turns out to be really important, for example, this experiment, because language is the single best predictor of school achievement. Key to strong language skills are those back and forth fluent conversations between young children and adults, according to a professor at Temple University in the space. So the problem arises when emotionally resonant adult-child cueing systems, so essential to early learning, is interrupted by a text, for example, or a quick check-in on Instagram. Another example. This study conducted in the Philadelphia area, again by this same Temple University, commenting on the phenomenon, testing the impact of parental cell phone use on child's language learning. 38 mothers and their 2-year-olds were brought into a room. The mothers were then told that they would need to teach their children 2 new words and were given a phone so that investigators could contact them from another room. When the mothers were interrupted by a call, the child did not learn the words, but otherwise they did. So when mom was focused on the child and teaching them the 2 words, they learned the words. When mom got interrupted by a cell phone and took the call, the kids didn't learn the words. So this is the concern that's raised by technoference, another psychological term, the interference of technology in our lives and specifically here in parenting. We're physically present, thereby often blocking kids' autonomy. So we're doing it kind of all wrong. We're physically present, the helicopter parent that's physically present, that wants to, keep the kid in the bubble.
Right.
and let them play and explore and develop their autonomy, and then only fitfully emotionally present where we should be zero focused when it comes to things like conferring language skills.
So are you trying to make me feel guilty?
This is an intervention.
No.
I'm
No, but I'm
I'm
good.
seizing control of Peyton and Eli.
But this is why I'm golfing with them, so that we could have something to do together where we have time in the cart, where there's no cell phones, there's nothing, where we could just converse and talk. But it's hard. I mean, when they were kids, that when they were 3 and 4 years old, they used to take my cell phone and hide it. I said, "What? I need my phone." They're like, "No, you need to be with us, Mom. Stop looking at your phone. Stop engaging in your, electronic addiction." Well, they didn't use those words, but they didn't like it. And you see moms doing that all the time, and nannies are always on their phone. So
I'm sorry, I was responding to a text message. I didn't hear you. Yeah, no, that's exactly. No, exactly. So a family that throws golf clubs together stays together.
Exactly.
Grows together.
Well, you have to do something together, whether it be, my friend has they are all certified scuba divers now, so they go on scuba diving vacations.
And this is why Peyton was able to read the diploma that he received on Friday.
Exactly.
All right, there's Prof's parenting tip. Again, physically, give them some space, let them develop their autonomy. Emotionally, intellectually,
eye to eye contact.
Yeah, here, focus, people.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up next, what's your Uber rating and what does it say about your character? But first, forecast for today. We have plenty of sunshine. It's hot and humid. Another excessive heat warning day. But tonight, when the thunderstorm rolls through here, it's going to drop the temperature. Tomorrow, only a high of 77 degrees with a chance of a shower and thunderstorm. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Amy. Thanks, Dan. West Side, Loomis remains blocked off. Roosevelt and 14th after a shooting. Adams is closed. Cillian Levitt, police investigation. Eden's 23 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 24. Kennedy, 40 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 20 from Montrose, 22 in the Express. Outbound an hour and 10 minutes downtown to the airport. Eisenhower, 52 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 48. Stevenson, an hour and 6 minutes, 355 to the drive. Outbound, it's 45 minutes. Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, Bishop Ford, relatively light. The northbound tri-state's heavy from 111th to the Hinsdale Oasis, and from the Reagan Tollway to Balmoral, which crashed in the left lane. Adams Tollway slow 2-way to the tri-state. Reagan Tollway 83 to the tri-state, and the northbound Veterans Memorial from I-55 to St. Charles and Lake Street to 290. Northwest Indiana's clear. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Upstream-ideas.com, premium content that complements what we do each morning. And this show, long-form interviews in our Against the Current series. This week we feature Maj Toure. He's the founder of Black Guns Matter, street-smart high school dropout from Philly who is now going around the country after building a successful model in Philly, teaching urban citizens to be law-abiding gun owners, law-abiding proficient gun owners. Fascinating interview with this young man. Really, really sharp, pretty interesting. So you want to check out the interview with Maj Toure. My 60 Seconds of Sanity commentaries, 2-minute warnings from Pat Hughes at Illinois Opportunity Project. Our Heart of the Matter series featuring professional women speaking collegially about the issues of the day. That the gun control is also the topic, the most recent Heart of the Matter. And then don't forget our sister site, defendhomeowners.com. Defendhomeowners.com. Free property tax report on your home, as well as updated home sales information on your neighborhood and your community, updated 2017 home sales information. All the property tax and home sales info, defendhomeowners.com. Everything else, upstream-ideas.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule. Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that not only recommend it, but use Balance of Nature as well.
In my practice, I was getting to the point where I couldn't have the strength to see that many patients anymore. I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis. It really affected my breathing and the strength that I had. And I was introduced to the fruits and veggies. Just slowly, my strength started to come back. And it was because of the good nutrition. I can't say enough good for Balance of Nature and what it's done for me. I recommend it to everybody.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
That's Dot. She's here to greet me after a long day. She's the only one who wants to be near me when I'm sick. She's my best friend. Thanks to folks like South Suburban Humane Society, Dot went from living on the street to a dog that wears clothes. Yep, I'm that guy. So how did I get so lucky? Before I met Dot, I spent time at South Suburban. Giving to a nonprofit isn't always about giving money or donating food and supplies, although that's appreciated too. South Suburban Pets just want your love. We encourage you to come by the facility, take a dog for a walk, play with Dot's cat friends, or even foster a pet to keep your flexibility. If you're interested in how you can volunteer or donate, visit them at southsuburbanhumane.org. That's right, Dot. South Suburban is a 501c3, which means all donations are tax deductible for individuals and businesses. Text DONATE to 708-866-0065 or visit southsuburbanhumane.org. South Suburban Humane Society, creating a better world for pets and their people.
A storm is on the horizon, and you need to keep the lights on no matter what. Your business relies on the power being on 24/7. It's the lifeblood of your data and computer systems. Weather-related outages from the power company are not acceptable. Your need for a source of power that's reliable 24/7, along with round-the-clock service that can dispatch technicians to your site immediately, is mission critical. Your business needs Charles Equipment Energy Systems on speed dial. These are the big boys, not residential or solar, but reliable industrial generators for emergency backup or events. When you need more than a 100-foot extension cord plugged into a small engine generator, call Charles Equipment Energy Systems. They keep the lights on with rental generators for job sites or power outages. The storm season is here. Plan ahead. Call now to prepare generators for sudden damage and potential power outages. Call 630-834-6000. That's 630-834-6000 or charlesequipment.com. charlesequipment.com.
Looking to refinance your existing home? Then you need to call Team Hochberg. Bill's family was cruising until he loaded $50,000 on his credit cards to cover expenses after his income was cut in half. Stressed out and living paycheck to paycheck, Bill called Team Hochberg for a free consultation. We consolidated Bill's credit cards into a 30-year fixed loan, credited all his closing costs, and reduced his payments over $1,400 a month. Bill was stressed out before calling and saved over $16,000 a year after calling Team Hochberg. If you're tired of living paycheck to paycheck like Bill and would like to see if refinance can lower your monthly payment, call Team Hochberg now at 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com.
Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois residential mortgage licensee 4358 and MLS 19186.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, and I know somebody who broke up with their boyfriend over a poor Uber rating.
Really? What happened? They just didn't.
She saw his Uber rating on his phone, and it was like under 2, and she basically is like, look, if you have a rating that low, that means you're mean to Uber drivers. That means you're a mean person. That means I can't go out with you.
Oh, okay. Well,
what's your Uber rating?
My Uber rating's bad. It is the highest it could be is 5.0, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And mine's really bad. I had an experience this past weekend, and it dropped precipitously after my event with this Uber driver. We're going to Peyton's graduation party at Blaine, and we are all in the car, and I was trying to charge my phone while we were driving to Belmont and Sheffield.
Using the Uber driver's charger or your charger?
No, using the Uber driver's charger.
Oh, it's a nice amenity he provided.
Right. So I couldn't get it plugged in because of this outer case or whatever. So he was trying to do it, and he veered into oncoming traffic.
Mm-hmm.
And so I grabbed the wheel, pulled it back in, and he said that
Jesus can grab the wheel.
And he said that I scratched him because I grabbed the phone as I moved with the right hand. I steered us right back into the lane, grabbed my phone that he was trying to plug in, and took that back. And he said that I scratched him, and he was complaining, going, looking at it the whole time we were driving there. I'm sitting there. Okay, Sally, really? I didn't break the skin. So before I got out of the car,
So you assaulted an Uber driver.
I wanted to take a picture of it to prove, just in case he tried to say that I assaulted him,
Mhm.
to show that.
You've just admitted you assaulted him.
No, it was an accident. I was grabbing the phone. I have long nails. I didn't break the skin. There was
Hmm.
no
No.
broken skin. There's no rash. There was no bruising. And he kept going, like looking at like a little pea hat wearer. Like, oh my
Okay.
God, man up, buddy.
All right.
So he wouldn't let me take the picture. I'm like, why not? And he said, no, it's fine, whatever. I think he just wanted me to get out of the car.
Most people are concerned about Uber drivers assaulting them. If you have Amy J in your car, it's a little bit of
Well,
a different story.
But then, and I didn't know too that we could tip Uber drivers.
Didn't know.
No, I did
Didn't
not
know about the tipping policy.
Didn't-
It's right there. Every time you complete a ride, you get it
Right.
pops up with a rating, and then if you want to add a tip,
This is new to me.
Uh-huh.
Isn't this? I
Yeah.
mean, but so how do I get my Uber rating up? Do I just have to be really pleasant and let them just drive into oncoming traffic?
yes, that would help. 5-star ratings and tipping.
Well, and then when I
And being pleasant. Don't
when I-
assault people. Don't scratch them. Don't grab the wheel. They're the driver.
what's your
Say
Uber?
thank you for
I always
allowing
say
me to
thank you.
use your charger.
I said that. And then one Uber
It's so,
driver
it's so funny, 'cause-
just braked right on Arlington Heights Road here.
Yeah.
When remember when I had 2 flat tires, I had an Uber here.
Yeah.
And he did not speak any English, just got to this country and just threw on the brake, like stopped right in the middle of Arlington Heights Road. And said,
Because you
"Get
were
out."
assaulting him.
No, I was not assaulting him. And I screamed, "What are you doing?"
Oh, well, that's
you
not going to
turned
help your
left at
rating.
the light. Well, yeah, so it's
So
my
it wasn't,
ratings.
it wasn't one incident now, was
Well,
it? Yeah.
well, I'm
one
just trying to
incident
think
doesn't drive your
why-
rating down to, what's your rating? You haven't really said.
2.5.
That's low. Yeah.
So do I break
Not
up
going
with
to Showcase
myself?
Showdown with that.
So if I just took a bunch of Ubers today and
Yeah.
tipped them and smiled and just
You should spend a few
be
days.
compliant,
Yeah.
Or should I just get rid of it and get Lyft? And then do they have ratings for Lyft?
Yeah, I assume. I don't know. I don't use Lyft. And that's why I have such a high Uber rating.
What is yours again?
So here's the thing that's funny
Wait.
about this. No,
Yes.
it's funny about this because, the rap is Amy's the nice person and Dan's the ogre. He's mean to people. 2.5 Uber rating for Amy Jacobson. 4.88. Thank you for Dan Proft.
Oh my gosh! Do you just not even say anything to them when you get in the car?
Correct.
You don't say a word.
That's right.
And what about tipping? I bet you're a big tipper.
I
Or do-
tip. I say thank you. I'm a perfect gentleman. And that's the secret to getting a high Uber rating.
Wait, how much do you tip? And do you tip cash or do you tip it on
No,
the
I just
phone?
tip on the phone. Yeah,
Really?
It's that easy. Takes 1 second. Maybe
Maybe I
if
don't
you were a
wanna-
little bit more considerate of others and paid attention to the prompts on the Uber screen, you could pull yourself up from the depths of 2.5.
How do I recover from this?
I just
And this
told
is-
you.
Okay, just start tipping and
Yeah.
don't say anything.
Or the flip side is you're going to have to become an Uber driver to get a whole new rating. You get a rating on the driver's side. And maybe that's a way to offset the rating on the rider side.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Trey Gowdy and Devin Nunes and Speaker Ryan and House Republicans, well, their patience has run out with DOJ and FBI when it comes to producing the documents they've subpoenaed. We're going to talk to Ron Kessler, New York Times bestselling author, about that at 7:37.
And later, a wave of outrage reaches President Trump over separating family members at the border. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Sunshine and 78 degrees. 7:30 on AM 560. The Answer. President Trump attacking the FBI after the Justice Department watchdog report that was critical of the Bureau's investigation into Hillary Clinton's emails. On Twitter, the president slamming FBI agent Peter Strzok for sharing the anti-Trump text with his girlfriend. Strzok's attorney, Eitan Goldman, spoke with NBC News this weekend.
I think he is eager to tell the truth, and hopefully it'll be an open session in Congress.
Strzok was involved with the Clinton investigation and the Russia probe. Senator Jack Reed criticizing the president, calling the administration's zero-tolerance policy that separates illegal immigrant families at the border abhorrent.
It's not the law. It's the president's policy. In fact, he has stated that he's using it as a negotiation tool.
The Rhode Island Democrat slamming the Trump administration for what he says is using the children as leverage. There are reports of deaths following a powerful earthquake in Japan. At least 2 deaths reported. Elderly men. The 6.1 magnitude quake struck near Osaka. Japanese media says there are fears more could have been killed and over 200 injuries so far. Celebrations in Mexico City after their stunning win over Germany in the World Cup literally shook the town and the nation. Mexico beat the heavily favored German squad yesterday, and when they did, earth-shaking celebrations apparently broke out, so much so that 2 of the city's earthquake sensors were triggered. A man claiming Roundup weed killer caused his cancer is going to trial against the ag chemical giant Monsanto. 46-year-old Dwayne Johnson will go head-to-head today against the company after hundreds of cancer patients had previously sued Monsanto. Emergency responders have ordered a mandatory evacuation of many parts of Indiana community after a train derailed overnight. Several train cars caught fire in Princeton, which is nearby Evansville. Chicago police tell us they continue to investigate a possible wide-ranging shooting near 13th and Loomis, south of the Eisenhower Expressway. Multiple injuries are reported. Walgreens plans to relocate some 1,800 employees to Chicago's former Old Main Post Office, including 1,300 workers who will move from its North Suburban headquarters campus in Deerfield. However, the majority, according to Walgreens Boots Alliance, of its employees at its Deerfield World headquarters will stay there, and the World headquarters will remain in Deerfield. Cubs fall to the Cardinals 5-0 at Busch. Tigers took down the White Sox 3-1. NBA draft Thursday in Brooklyn. Bulls have the number 7 pick overall. The news service of Accountemps. Finding highly skilled accounting and finance pros can be a challenge. Accountemps can help. With Accountemps' extensive network of accounting and finance contractors, you can be sure to find the right person for your exact hiring needs. Visit Accountemps.com to learn more. Accountemps, a Robert Half company. 7:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
I am a Trump supporter.
The Joe Walsh Show.
Now, I am a Trump supporter who will freely criticize the president when I think he's done wrong. And done wrong can be sending out a stupid tweet, raising taxes, or supporting amnesty. Can be anything. It's the issues to me. And when President Trump does something that does not advance those issues, I'll call him out on it.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5. Right after Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Progressive makes it easy to compare quotes and get a great rate with the new Home Quote Explorer, only at Progressive.com.
There's a place where you can get custom metal products. If you manage a commercial kitchen, hotel, condo building, or food-grade manufacturing plant, then no matter the type of metal or size of the project, the skillfully trained fabrication team at Vans Industrial has you covered.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. Custom metal fabrication is the backbone of my company. We fabricate stainless steel countertops, wall coverings, hoods, landscape planter boxes, industrial fan housings, and more. Vans Industrial uses all types of alloys like carbon steel, aluminum, brass, and polished stainless steel. And we have a laser cutting machine. Our laser can customize almost any project. Our team can design, fabricate, and install your project today.
Call 833-VANS-IND for a free inspection of your facility. That's 833-VANS-IND. Interested in what else they do? Visit vansindustrial.com. That's VANS industrial.com. Vans Industrial, customizing for you, the customer.
7:35. Let's check the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Tri-State southbound, it's now heavy 21 to 176 and jammed 2-way to the Bensonville Bridge. Northbound from 111 to the Hinsdale Oasis up from the Reagan Tollway to Balmoral. Crash in the left lane. But Adams Tollway slow 2-way to the Tri-State. Reagan Tollway 83 to the Tri-State. The northbound Veterans Memorial from I-55 to St. Charles and North Avenue 290. Eden's 22 minutes like Cook to the junction, outbound 27. Kennedy, 41 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. It's heavier in the express. Outbound an hour and 8 minutes to the airport. Eisenhower, an hour and 4 minutes. 390 to downtown. Outbound 59 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 6 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 33 minutes. 95th to downtown. Direct service of Aruba Tourism. Imagine if your daily commute was from your beach chair right to the crystal blue Caribbean Sea. It's time for an escape to sunny Aruba. Hop a daily nonstop flight from O'Hare to one happy island. Plan your Aruba vacation today at aruba.com. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Sunny, hot, and humid through the early afternoon. Extreme heat could be dangerous for some folks, high 93, and then a cold front moves through the area. That could bring some strong evening storms and a low of 65. 79 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 8. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Advanced Planning Advisors, bringing you Smart Money Talk with Mike Moylan and Rob Curvin, Saturday mornings at 6.
Let freedom ring this afternoon at 2 with Sean Hannity, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. And the Department of Justice Inspector General report really puts Democrats in a trick bag on so many levels, one of which is I think they don't know whether they're supposed to like Jim Comey or not anymore.
Right. Nobody knows.
He's Mueller's star witness, ostensibly, in the obstruction case they're trying to conjure up against President Trump. But he didn't fare too well in that Inspector General report, nor did some of his underlings like Page and Strzok and 5 unnamed agents. Department of Justice doesn't fare particularly well either, going back to the days when Loretta Lynch was the Attorney General. And this has President Trump and House Republicans on offense. Over the weekend, both Trey Gowdy, chairman of House Oversight, and Devin Nunes, chairman of the House Intel Committee, recounted a meeting that occurred on Friday evening, led by Speaker Ryan, that included Christopher Wray, FBI director, representatives from DOJ, including Rod Rosenstein, the Deputy Attorney General, where they basically said, look, those subpoenas that have been pending for more than a year, you're going to produce those documents. You're going to produce the documents we've requested this week, or we're going to take
action on the floor.
Yeah, the disciplinary action that we have available to us, including but not limited to impeachment. Here's Trey Gowdy laying it out with Chris Wallace on Fox.
We had a meeting Friday night under the heading of Minor Miracles. You had members of the House working on a Friday night. Paul Ryan led this meeting. You had Devin Nunes, Bob Goodlatte, myself, and everyone you can think of from the FBI and the DOJ. And we went item by item on both of those outstanding subpoenas. We either have compliance, we have partial compliance, or we have non-compliance. And Paul made it very clear. There's going to be action on the floor of the House this week if the FBI and DOJ do not comply with our subpoena request. So Rod Rosenstein, Chris Wray, you were in the meeting. You understood him just as clearly as I did. We're going to get compliance, or the House of Representatives is going to use its full arsenal of constitutional weapons to gain. Part of that depends upon what you view the Mueller probe as. Now, you mentioned collusion. The only person in the universe who claims to have evidence of collusion is Adam Schiff. And unlike any other secret he's ever had, he's actually kept this one. He's never told anyone what evidence he has. So there's no evidence of collusion. Obstruction of justice, Chris, good luck having your star witness being Jim Comey in any prosecution, from shoplifting to obstruction of justice. Good luck if that's your star witness. For me, the Mueller probe is about what Russia did in 2016 and who, if anyone, they did it with.
For more on this, we're pleased to be joined by New York Times bestselling author of books on a range of topics, including the Secret Service, the FBI, and the CIA. Most recent offering, the Trump White House, an exclusive access he got with President Trump that informs his book. He is Ronald Kessler. Ronald, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Always great to be with you.
So what about the fallout from that Inspector General report and some seems renewed vigor coming from more than just Devin Nunes after that report.
Well, I think they are making progress on getting additional documents out of the FBI. It is, very sensitive when you're talking about an ongoing investigation. If you're talking about a source, whose life could be in danger if his identity were revealed, I think that's what part of this is about. The report itself directed the greatest criticism towards Comey, as you indicated, and in fact, towards the fact that he gave the public statements about Hillary, which actually hurt Hillary as opposed to Trump. Also, it gives Trump ammunition because of the Peter Strzok messages that will stop Trump. But it also says that Strzok said in another message he didn't want to work on the Mueller investigation because he didn't think there was much there. And also that both he and Lisa Page, his lover, were for more aggressive actions in some cases, using more use of subpoenas. So there's quite a jumble of information there. It really pertains to the actions of about a dozen FBI employees, including the director and the deputy director. So it's not a systemic problem within the FBI.
But why would the IG report say that he's not politically biased? When clearly, if you read the report, it sounds like there's some biased behavior going on.
Well, there's clearly he had bias in terms of his personal opinions, but they couldn't identify any decision that resulted from that. In fact, as I mentioned, in some cases he was for more aggressive actions against Hillary. So it's just not, it's not a black and white situation.
Right. I mean, he says, Horowitz says he couldn't prove it, but he talks about examples of what appear to be bias throughout, and they're obvious and numerous. So, that spin from the left, it just isn't going to hold water, I don't think. One of the questions that comes out of this, though, because the report was so harmful to the FBI's credibility and Department of Justice to a lesser extent, is does this now give Trump the leverage and perhaps the inclination to shut down Mueller?
No, Trump is going to use whatever he can to go after the FBI and undercut his credibility as far as the Mueller probe goes. But there's no way he's going to fire Mueller. He's a lot of his tweeting and statements are to whip up his base. I've known him for 2 decades, and in my book I go into the fact that he's very different when you actually know him as opposed to his public caricature. And that other Donald Trump is very thoughtful, doesn't make rash decisions. Even the decision to fire Comey, which led to the appointment of Mueller, was taken only after Sessions and Rosenstein said they have no confidence in Comey because of his decision to hold a press conference about Hillary and make the decision on his own not to indict her. So it was not a rash decision, although not very well timed. In my book, The Trump White House, I actually point out that when Trump said he fired Comey and he thought about the Russia investigation, he went on to make it clear that he didn't mean that he fired him over the Russia investigation. In fact, quite the opposite. In the next few paragraphs, which of course the media have ignored, he said that he recognized that by firing Comey, it could actually prolong the FBI investigation. He wasn't trying to get rid of the investigation at all. But again, the media, love to ignore the other side.
Well, I want to know why FBI agent with Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, how are they still working at the FBI, and why haven't they been fired?
Strzok is.
Strzok, yeah. Lisa Page has left. Oh, I'm quite sure Strzok will be fired, but I think they probably were waiting until the report came out, and there are various procedures internally when it comes to firing someone. But there's no question he's going to be gone. No question.
Yeah, and his attorney this morning has come forward saying that they'll testify before Congress.
Yeah.
That should be fun.
Yeah.
From your relationship with Trump and your discussions with him, I don't know exactly when all these discussions happen, but do you think that Trump has confidence in Christopher Wray? That's his appointee at FBI. Do you think he has confidence that Christopher Wray can restore the credibility of the FBI and essentially sweep out those FBI agents who act more like political operatives?
Yes, I think he has not criticized Wray at all. He is his appointee, as you say. If you look at Trump's appointments, they're incredible, and that's one example. He's a very reasonable, judicious kind of guy, and is doing a good job at the FBI. There haven't been any problems under him, since he took over. So that's certainly a good sign. The report also said that contrary to a lot of the criticism of the FBI, including by some former agents, the investigation did use a grand jury, did issue 56 subpoenas. It didn't put people under oath because the FBI never does that because there's no need to. There's a law that prohibits lying to the FBI, and that's much more easily used in a prosecution. So, it put to rest some of the myths, and I think it's a very truthful report.
Well, yeah, I don't think it put to rest a lot of the questions about the Hillary Clinton investigation and lack of prosecution. I don't think it put that to rest, and I don't think it inspired confidence in the senior leadership of the FBI. People can distinguish between an agency that big at the rank and file level as compared to the senior leadership level. But for me, it was just another stinging indictment of the same cast of characters we've been talking about for a year, starting with Comey.
Yeah, no question. And since Comey came out with his book, I mean, he's turned out to be a total travesty. He said it was possible that Trump was compromised by the Russians. Well, what an incredible thing to say.
Yeah.
It's possible that the neighbor down the street murdered someone. Well, when he was asked by Jake Tapper, well, why do you say that? He said, well, Trump keeps saying that he's innocent. Can you imagine if a juror in a murder trial said, I voted to convict him because he kept saying he's innocent? and he also said he hasn't criticized Putin, which actually was not true. And more recently, he's criticized him more. But beyond that, Trump has taken about 12 different actions as opposed to words that are anti-Putin, including sanctions. So Comey, clearly has become a total, let's say, just has lost his credibility if he had any to begin with.
He is Ron Kessler, New York Times bestselling author of many books, Secret Service, FBI, CIA, The Topics. The latest, The Trump White House. He gets unique access to President Trump that informs his book, so you want to pick that up. Ron, thanks so much for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule. Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that not only recommend it, but use Balance of Nature as well.
I look at Balance of Nature and I look what it's doing for me as I've started taking it, and for the patients that I have that are taking it, it's been phenomenal watching the changes that have happened and how much healthier and how much more energy that they have. I haven't heard any negative feedback from any of my patients who have been taking the product. The thing that amazes me with it is that it's so simple.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Your kids won't be thinking about school very much this summer, but it's the perfect time for you to think about where you'll be sending your child back to school this fall. More and more parents are thinking about private school, and maybe that's you. Private school has never been more affordable thanks to our good friends over there at halfpriceschools.com, where you can find tuition vouchers for private schools across the Chicagoland area at half the price. There's no catch. It's simple. Find a school near you, purchase a tuition voucher, and prepare to send your child off to school this fall. There's schools located all over the area. Daystar School in Chicago's South Loop. There's Calvin Christian School in South Holland, Westminster Christian School in Elgin. The list goes on and on. Go to halfpriceschools.com. But don't wait. These great deals will not last forever, and many of these vouchers have already sold out. Halfpriceschools.com. That's halfpriceschools.com.
Chicagoland, Dan Proft here, and I'm here with my guy Ryan Kelly at thehomeloanexpert.com. He's one of us. He gets it. That's one of the things I think that separates you from others in a very competitive marketplace, Ryan. Why is thehomeloanexpert.com the place to go to buy or sell your home?
I'll give you a couple of things that really separate the Home Loan Expert office from all these other mortgage lenders. First of all, it's the way we take care of our clients. 15 years ago, when I was knocking on doors, trying to start up the Home Loan Expert and get in the business, I sat down at people's kitchen tables and I talked to them. And one of the biggest frustrations people had was they didn't trust mortgage lenders. They felt like they were shoved into loans. So we don't do that. We offer customer service that nobody else can match. And of course, lower rates on better loans. And we do all types of loans. We do the VA loans. Heck, we close VA loans in 14 days. Nobody else does that. We do jumbo loans, cash out loans, FHA loans. We can do a loan for about anybody. Heck, we have a bank statement mortgage. We don't even need your tax returns or pay stubs. Thinking about refinancing, now's a great time. 5 minutes can save you $500 a month. Apply online today at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC.
You know, Schrank Smoke & Gun has the largest selection of new and used firearms in Lake County. And now in June, green tags save you some green. All pre-owned firearms are on sale. Just look for the green tags. Also in June, 50-round 9mm Federal range ammo is only $10.50 per box, and 500-round Federal bricks of .22 caliber LR ammo is only $39.95. Generations of customers shop Schranks for the family atmosphere and huge selection of pistols, rifles, shotguns, hard-to-find calibers, collectibles, and older functioning hunting rifles with inventory changing daily. Plus, they have on-site gunsmith services from simple cleaning to repair. For cigar lovers, find your favorites in Schrank's humidors, along with a broad selection of pipes and tobacco. Visit smokethengun.org or call 847-662-4034. And check Facebook and Instagram for frequent flash sales. Drive north and save on taxes at Schrank Smoke & Gun in Waukegan, your family-owned gun store since 1964.
You've heard us say if your roof is needy,
Call Grumweedy.
Also, if your gutters, siding, windows, or entry door is needy,
Call Grumweedy.
What's that all about?
This is Mark Olson
and Greg Olson, the boys from Crumweedy.
We created a special deal just for you. Replace your roof and receive free gutters. Or replace the siding or windows on your home and receive a free entry door.
We'll do a great job, and you'll get the Crumweedy promise of installation that is up to manufacturer specifications, so your warranty is intact.
And get free gutters or an entry door as a thank you. Some restrictions apply, and this special won't last long.
We fix roof, siding, and window problems. We're here. We're a third-generation family business that was built on the same conservative values as you. If your home is needy,
Call Grumweedy.
630-595-8020. 630-595-8020.
Get all the info at myroofisneedy.com. myroofisneedy.com.
When you're insured by Mag Mutual, you get more than just medical professional liability protection. You get partnership. They're your partner when it comes to safeguarding patients, physicians, and healthcare teams. Everything they do is focused on protecting and supporting you in the practice of medicine. From helping you save money to mitigating your risk, they are your single source for customized service and support. Their promise to protect includes comprehensive insurance solutions for the practice, business, and regulation of medicine, from expert guidance to an extensive resource library and complimentary access to up-to-date. They're committed to creating a plan specifically for you, ensuring your continued success. You can stay focused on your patients, knowing Mag Mutual is your partner. Visit them on the web at magmutual.com.
For more information about Mag Mutual in Illinois, please contact Dr. Shaw at Flagship Healthcare at 312-888-9248 or by email at info@flagshiphc.com. Visit their website at flagshiphc.com.
There's always that time of day when the sun creates havoc at the office.
This is ridiculous.
You're literally blinded by the light. Can't see a thing on your computer monitor and feel like you're baking in an oven. Make your office or storefront distraction-free with custom shades from 1-800-4BLINDS. You'll keep your customers comfortable, protect furnishings and decor from fading, and have happy, productive employees that don't have to stop in the middle of a project because of the glare. 1-800-4BLINDS can get the job done quickly with their local in-house installation crew. You'll save money on window treatments that not only look great, but will also help you shrink utility bills with special heat-reducing shades that can trap heat between the window and shade. They also offer custom painted solar shades with your logo or photo image printed directly on the shade. Get the sun out of your eyes. Call 1-800-4BLINDS direct for a consultation today. 773-447-5448 or visit 1-800-4BLINDSchicago.com. That's 1-800-4BLINDSchicago.com.
AM 560. The Answer.
Dan and Amy, boy, a disappointing showing, so to speak, from Stormy Daniels over the weekend. You know, her big run at the Admiral Theater ended abruptly after her Thursday night performance.
What happened? I mean, and there's billboards all over Chicago promoting that event, and I know some people that were going to go to Friday night's show.
Of course you do.
Well, what's wrong with that?
Regular strip showing patrons?
No, that was their first time because they just wanted to see.
That's what they all say.
What President Trump likes. They wanted to see it firsthand.
Well,
that's why they went or tried to go, but it didn't happen.
Thursday night performance started about an hour late.
See, I hate that.
Lasted only about 15 minutes.
Strip club acts should start on time.
You're a stickler about that.
Well, it's a way for them to get more money in the bar sales.
And to your point, according to one Tribune reporter, most of the $30 to $50 tickets for the show sold out. The Thursday night crowd was spirited. Of course they were. Filled with people who seemed to be attending a strip joint for the first time. Apparently, Morgan Green, who was this reporter, is a veteran of attending strip joints. They could make that determination. That's interesting. But here's what happened. Well, first, just a little bit more color there, in case you missed it. I mean, if you did attend, please do give us a call, 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line.
Or text us, too. I mean,
Right.
we need to know, 64636, DA, quick comment.
We need to know so we can tell your wife on
We need to break this down.
A few men near the front of the stage wore MAGA hats on sale in the lobby. Another man gave Daniels repeated standing ovations, and he also clapped, as she stripped off her red, white, and blue sparkly costume to songs like American Woman.
Oh.
But here's the rub.
Hey. keep it rub?
There was a dispute between her representation and the Admiral Theater's management because
Brown M&Ms?
No, not a green
In the
room.
green room?
Well, sort of. It wasn't like a brown or green M&M issue. It was a midget popping out of a cake as Donald Trump issue. And you know how temperamental theater folk are.
That's awesome.
Her assistant, Stormy's assistant, said, "No, we're not having it. We avoid political situations with the shows because we're in the middle of a lawsuit. So no little man dressed up as Trump jumping out of a cake." And then there was also some arguments about merchandise profits and whatnot. Imagine that. Imagine her renegotiating after the fact. So the show did not go on with Stormy Daniels, but then I understand for the Friday to Sunday shows, Elon Musk is her understudy. He filled in as the whore at the Admiral.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Trump's immigration policy. Is it the return of Nazi Germany, as some on the left are saying, at 8:08?
And later, what happened to Jaime the gardener? We'll explain. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Sweltering heat to hit Chicagoland again today. The Chicago Department of Public Health warning of a potential measles exposure at a popular Loop restaurant. Cards shut out the Cubs. Tigers take down the White Sox. WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
The UN doesn't like what's going on in the U.S. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Inflicting such abuse on children is unconscionable.
UN Human Rights Chief Zaid Rad Al Hussein commenting on parents detained while entering the U.S. illegally, separated from kids put in housing facilities. Some Democrats visited some of those sites, including Senator Jeff Merkley.
They call it zero tolerance, but a better name for it is zero humanity.
Now, the president just tweeted, "Why don't Democrats give us the votes to fix the world's worst immigration laws?" Fox's John Deckers live at the White House.
The president has blamed Democrats for the DHS policy, while Democrats have blamed the president for the zero tolerance policy. White House spokesman Hogan Gidley.
Democrats say you can't detain them. So if you can't detain them,
You can't deport them. You have to release them into the interior of the country. It's a complete false choice.
The House is considering a bill that would eliminate the diversity visa program and scale back family-based immigration visas while offering a path to citizenship to so-called dreamers. That's contingent on funding for a border wall. Dave?
John, a high-speed Border Patrol chase led to a crash in South Texas yesterday. At least 5 of the 12 suspected illegal immigrants crammed inside the vehicle were killed. Drivers believed to be an American. The Justice Department's Inspector General, who wrote the report on the Hillary Clinton investigation, will testify today at the Senate, but lawmakers really want to hear from FBI agent Peter Strzok over all the anti-Trump texts he and an FBI lawyer exchanged.
Strzok is willing to testify before any congressional committee that asks. Some Republicans say that Strzok needs to lose his job. The top Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee didn't go that far, but says the text messages are troubling.
Fox's Ellison Barber. It's day 3 of the search for 2 men who made a jailbreak in White County, Illinois. One's awaiting trial for murder. A third inmate who broke out with them was captured. They used a pipe to smash a hole in a wall to get out early Saturday morning. Fox News. Fair and balanced.
Sunshine in Chicago, sweltering temps and high humidities, 79 degrees, humidity already at 81%. 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Chicago police are investigating after 3 men and a woman were shot in the Little Village neighborhood. It happened last night in the 2200 block of South Sacramento. All the victims are hospitalized. One is in critical condition. That shooter remains on the loose. Sweltering heat will continue to blanket Chicagoland today. An excessive heat warning is in effect in Cook County until tonight. A heat advisory is in effect for the rest of the area. Lines of thunderstorms crawled across northern Minnesota, northern Wisconsin, and the UP of Michigan Sunday. Flash flooding washing out roads and highways, destroying homes. Some vacationers are stranded. Authorities are searching for the driver involved in a hit-and-run crash that killed a 9-year-old boy and injured his mother and a sibling in Burbank. The driver, police say, took off after the incident. From books to bourbon, a pair of developers in Naperville want to turn the city's old library into a craft distillery. Derek Krause and Joe Rebine detailed their plan to the city's liquor commission. Naperville's old Nichols Library is a city landmark, but set to become part of a new commercial residential building project. Cardinals blanked the Cubs 5-0 at Busch. Tigers took down the White Sox 3-1. James Shields serving up all 3 runs over 6 innings to take the loss. Brooks Koepka is your winner of the U.S. Open for the 2nd straight year. 8:03 is our time. It's time for the AM 560 Business Beat. From the Fox Business Network, here's Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, BJ's Wholesale Club is getting ready to go public. It plans to offer 37.5 million shares priced at $15 to $17. Sprint and T-Mobile are filing an application with the FCC today, formally asking for approval to merge. They agreed to a $26 billion all-stock deal back in April. They say it'll help them to build a state-of-the-art 5G network. A federal judge last week cleared AT&T's merger with Time Warner. The biotech billionaire who purchased the Los Angeles Times officially takes over the paper today. Dr. Patrick Soon-Shiong is taking over the Times, San Diego Union Tribune, OI, and some community newspapers. It will be called California News Group. The Dow dropped 84 on Friday, the Nasdaq was down 14, and the S&P lost 2. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jenny Cosola.
It's 8:04. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Larry Elder just wants America to know the facts.
Contrary to the Black Lives Matter narrative, the police have much more to fear from black males than black males have to fear from the police. In 2015, a police officer was 18.5 times more likely to be killed by a black male than an unarmed black male was to be killed by a police officer.
The Larry Elder Show. Weeknights at 7, right before Jay Sekulow at 9 on AM 560. The Answer.
When posting on most job sites, you get candidates.
I'm the sales director.
I'm the sales
director you're looking for.
But when you post on Indeed.com, you get the candidates just right for you.
I'm a sales director with an MBA, over 10 years experience.
who's also fluent in Japanese.
With Indeed, you can add screener questions for a less time-consuming route to your short list of qualified candidates.
Arigato.
Hiring's better when you've got your short list. Save time on hiring when you post a job on Indeed. Get started today at Indeed.com/hire.
What happened? You used to go hours without visiting the bathroom. Now it seems like you're constantly getting up to pee. Listen, the makers of Super Beta Prostate are introducing a new wonder pill, Super Beta Prostate P3 Advanced, with 3 key ingredients that are great for your prostate. To celebrate, your first 30-day supply is free. Pay shipping and handling. Get P3 Advanced free. Call 1-800-215-9360. 1-800-215-9360. 1-800-215-9360.
8:06. Let's get a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Eastbound Eden Spur traffic is heavy from past Waukegan Road to the Edens. Then it's just 20 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 33 minutes to Lake Cook. Kennedy, 48 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, a little heavier in the Express, outbound 44 minutes, 20 to get to Montrose. Eisenhower, an hour and 2 minutes, 390 to downtown, 42 minutes from Manheim, outbound an hour to 390. Stevenson, an hour and 10 minutes from 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 38 minutes. The Rhine is 38 minutes, 95th to downtown. Southbound Tri-State delays are from Washington to Bradley, and then Dempster to Bensonville Bridge. Northbound Southwest Highway to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to Balmoral after a crash. Veterans Memorial northbound delays are from I-55 to St. Charles, North Avenue to 290, southbound North Roosevelt, traffic service of Lowe's. Shop Lowe's for great deals and power into summer by getting up to 20% off select outdoor power equipment. All projects have a starting point. Start with Lowe's. Offer valid through 6/20 while supplies last. See store for details. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Excessive heat warning in effect until 7 p.m. this evening. Sunshine and some clouds today with a shower or thunderstorm late in the afternoon and into the evening. We'll have a high today of 93, heat index values of 97 to 102. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
79 at O'Hare, 81 along the lakefront. Your next news is at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Don't forget that you can watch Chicago's Morning Answer on the Income Store live video stream every morning at 560theanswer.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Is Trump Hitler? Is his zero-tolerance immigration policy reminiscent of Nazi Germany? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. I'm just repeating what men and women of the left are saying, are they not?
Well, yeah, and leading the charge is ex-CIA Chief General Michael Hayden. He tweeted out a picture of Auschwitz and compared Trump's immigration policy to Nazi Germany with a quote, "We need to be careful." And they're saying that because currently this morning, as you're waking up, there's still 2,000 children in these certain detention camps, or well, I don't even know what you call them. There's in El Paso, they made a tent city. Each tent is air conditioned. They're providing food, water. Kids can only leave for 2 hours a day. And then there's one in Brownsville, and there's one in McAllen, Texas. And there are reports of one in McAllen, Texas. There are 20 kids in a kennel-like situation where they're gated in. A little more humane in Brownsville, Texas, where they changed the big box store, an old Walmart, into a housing station. But they separate the girls that are 17 and younger in one pod, the boys in another pod, children in one pod, and then the men and women in a separate pod. So why can't they just keep these groups together? Even Kellyanne Conway, mother herself, Catholic, she was on Meet the Press and had this to say.
As a mother, as a Catholic, as somebody who's got a conscience, I will tell you that nobody likes this policy. You saw the president on camera, that he wants this to end.
But then he could change it. I mean, this zero tolerance policy, that's why people are being housed in these detention centers, because it used to be a civil crime to cross the border, and now it's...
I don't know why you keep saying that.
Well,
Crossing
it's a
the border
civil
is illegal. It's a criminal offense. Crossing the border in this country is illegal. It is illegal to illegally enter this country.
I understand, but they have not. They have not separated the children and the parents before. That's what they're doing now. That's why they're opening up all the old big box stores to house these people.
Well,
so it was a civil offense. You got a court date. You had to come back, and a lot of people didn't come back
by
to that court date.
I'm sorry. By definition, are not DACA arrivals often separated from their parents?
Not that
Yeah. The answer is yes.
I'm aware of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, then you're not aware. The
Well,
answer is
there's
yes.
100 kids that are 4 years old and younger that don't have parents, and the social workers that are there are told not to comfort them when they're crying.
So
they can change their diapers, but then they can't soothe them and love them.
So what should be done, do you think?
I think that they should keep the families together in these detention centers,
So
because some
should-
people are in different centers. One's in Brownsville, one's in McAllen, and they can't even communicate with their kids.
So then should we do a catch and release, or should we allow them into the country, or what should we do? How do you resolve
asylum,
this?
well, if they're seeking asylum, they have to go to a port of entry and file paperwork.
And the reason
but
and the
even
reason
those-
they've been separated,
Those people are being separated from their kids, though.
Kristen Nielsen, who's the Department of Homeland Security Secretary, suggested that the policy is being misreported, as well as the actions of Homeland Security and Border Enforcement, that you have asylum seekers who are not going to designated ports of entry and thus are attempting to enter illegally, where if they go to designated ports of entry, then you can seek asylum, file the paperwork, and there's not the separation. I know there's reported individual cases of separation despite that protocol. I don't know the veracity of those specifically. I'm just telling you what the Department of Homeland Security's policy is. In addition to that, the question becomes, if you're entering this country illegally, what should be done? Should we just do catch and release, or should we, process people and deport them? And remember, if you process people and if you process people and deport them, you're going to get action from the ACLU and demagoguery from the Democrats regardless. You'll get it on the deportation side after you get it on the on the capture side, if you want to use that term at present.
I know our immigration policy needs an overhaul, but this doesn't seem the proper way to do it. Former lady Laura Bush wrote I thought a wonderful piece, an op-ed in the Washington Post, where she compared, these camps, these converted box stores and tent cities, to Japanese American internment camps of World War II. It's inhumane, and that there's, and Melania Trump released a statement saying Mrs. Trump hates to see children separated from their families.
Well, who supports
She
that?
believes we need to be a country that follows all laws, but also a country that governs with a heart.
The sentimentalism is overwhelming.
If you have kids, I can't imagine. I want to die if I got separated from my kids.
No one is promoting separating parents from their kids. You're dealing with people who are trying to enter this country illegally, and you're trying to establish border security. And because Democrats are uninterested in border security, as well as even a pathway to a permanent status for those DACA designees that they pretend to care so much about, but because they are uninterested in border security, they're uninterested in ejecting violent criminals who are in this country illegally, who've committed repeated offenses, who have murdered people, and they keep coming back. The rule of law side and the people who play by the rules in this country, they're a little exasperated with the political class, and you wonder why. And so now what we have is this emotion baiting, bigot baiting nonsense, this sentimentalism that suggests that this is the next way that the left can stick us up, so we don't have to talk about the 4 tenets of immigration reform that President Trump has put forward as it pertains to border wall, physical security, as it pertains to ending chain migration, diversity visa lottery, and making it more merit-based. The McCall-Goodlatte legislation also includes an E-Verify provision. So we don't want to talk about that. We can just create emotional ransom and political ransom against Republicans if we demagogue this issue this way. By the way, where were the op-eds from Laura Bush? Where was the virtue signaling from Michael Hayden when children were being kept in exactly the same situation during the previous administration? Kristen Nielsen, the Homeland Security Secretary, properly points out that their policy is an extension of the policy of previous administrations.
So who's to blame for that? President Trump all week long was saying the Democrats, it's their fault.
No, I hate it. I hate the children being taken away. The Democrats have to change their law. That's their law. I certainly wouldn't sign the more moderate
What does the bill have to have in it?
I need a bill that gives this country tremendous border security. I have to have that. We have to get rid of catch and release.
Does that mean the wall?
We have to have the wall. If we don't have the wall, there's no bill.
By the way, just in Europe, it's very interesting to watch socialists get mugged by reality on this topic. You know, France had another a knife attack with a woman, shouting Allahu Akbar. And the French National Assembly, not exactly Trumpian, not exactly conservatives, passed a immigration law tightening the rules around asylum in France, shortening the asylum application deadlines, doubling the time for which illegal migrants can be detained, and introducing a 1-year prison sentence for entering France illegally. Serve 1 year in jail for entering France illegally.
Well, this leads me to Jaime. My mom's gardener just disappeared. He was picked up for a traffic violation, was sent to Eloy for processing for a month, and then deported. Well, we find out he has entered this country 6 times illegally. So they told him, they gave him a Greyhound bus, by the way, back to Nogales, and they said, if you cross this border one more time, you are going to jail for 5 years. So he has a house and a truck and a company in Tucson, Arizona. So now he is going to be living in Nogales and running his company from his home in Nogales.
Mm-hmm. So it is a crime then to cross the border illegally.
Well, he's done it 6 times, and now he's not going to be doing it again.
Yeah.
He will not do it again. He can't come and visit his family. He can go visit him.
Right. So then crime and punishment.
But I'm just saying they're making progress. If they're pulling people over for different things, they are deporting them.
Well, but other people that come here illegally with children who commit a crime shouldn't be deported. So the guy who sticks up a convenience store, if he says, well, I've got kids, then they shouldn't be separated. He shouldn't go to prison because I got kids.
It's a little different. They're coming here because they're fleeing persecution from their country, or they're trying to escape the drug dealers in their neighborhood.
There's an asylum process. And then there's the I want a better life for myself and my family process, which there are hundreds of thousands of people following that process to try and gain entry into this country. But somehow we're supposed to defer to the line jumpers, to the criminals. I mean, it's a criminal act. I appreciate it. I appreciate they want to come to this country, but let's call it what it is so we can have an honest conversation about it.
And with Jeb Bush on this one, it's an act of love.
If the standard is seeking a better life for yourself, then we better clear out some space in our extra bedrooms because you're going to have 5 billion people come to this country.
I will say this, though. If I was thinking about coming here, if I didn't live in this country, I would never cross illegally right now because you risk having your children separated from you. I mean, it's a strong message they're sending. Don't try it.
Ed in North Lake, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning. First, Laura Bush, I believe this law was enacted under your husband's administration.
Yeah.
It was expanded by the Obama administration, and now it's just purely political motives by the Democrats as another attack on the president to distract from the conversation, as Dan mentioned, about the real issues about reforming immigration. And let me say this. I'm a criminal defense lawyer, and I have a lot of good friends that are immigration lawyers because the paths interact because we have to always be cognizant of immigration consequences. 95% of these people aren't fleeing persecution. They are fleeing poverty. And the standard at the border to be eligible for entry with, for asylum, this credible fear, it's laughable. And that people are coached, so that's point one. Point two, Amy, regarding Jaime and the people getting pulled over, average Juan Garcia who gets stopped with no license is not getting referred to immigration court. Your guy, he had previous deportation orders. So when he gets stopped, he gets flagged. ICE has a database on that. And if there's someone who was previously deported and they get stopped by law enforcement, ICE knows about it. And that's how he gets grabbed. And point three, how do we deter people from coming across our border? If they come across knowing and you break the law that you're going to be separated from your children, I think it's a great deterrent, because U.S. citizens are separated from their children every day in this country when you break the law. So to me, it's not even a debate. It is purely political, and there were no Democrats screaming up and down during Obama's administration when this was going on.
Thanks for the call, Ed. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Ed.
Good stuff. Megan on the South Side.
Hi, guys. Good morning. I just wanted to say, Dan, you had mentioned something about the Holocaust earlier. I could be wrong, but didn't we, not allow Holocaust survivors in the country? I'm not saying that was the right thing to do, but a lot of people are trying to compare the two. So that's
yes, actually, it's a good history lesson. The sainted to the left, FDR, left 1,000 Jews fleeing Nazi persecution out in the harbor in Havana after the Cubans refused entry. They sought asylum in the United States. They were denied, didn't even get a response from FDR. So, yeah, you might want to raise that with your friends when they want to make the Nazi comparisons. I guess if it's anything, it's more like the FDR comparison to Trump, but it's not even a very good comparison there, because they were literally seeking or legitimately seeking asylum, and they weren't allowed even to try and process in. They were just ignored, where at least these individuals coming over here illegally or legally through standard ports of entry are receiving an assessment in terms of their qualification for asylum. And, oh, by the way, very few of them are, if any, are fleeing anything like Nazi Germany. So
exactly.
Very good history lesson, Megan. Thank you for that. Ralph and Rantoul.
Yeah, good morning. If the bigger crime now is separating children from the criminal adults who are committing the crimes, why don't we get back to the olden days where entire families were locked up? I don't think that's what people are advocating. So I think it's interesting that it's convenient to scream about separation of families when it suits a political purpose. But when everyday crimes break up and destroy families because of criminal behavior, we don't hear about those people getting crammed into the cells with the fathers and mothers who are committing crimes and who are locked up all the time.
Thanks for the call, Ralph. Well, here's the other thing, too. When you want to do like a one-off policy because it appeals to your emotions, like in this case here, what about the one-off policy the Democrats won't do on DACA? What about that? 800,000 kids, Trump saying, no, I'll raise you 1.8 million to all those who were eligible and didn't seek that DACA status for permanent status.
And the Democrats still won't budge.
They won't do it.
Even when Obama was in power or in charge and he had the House and the Senate on his side, they still always danced around immigration and getting something done.
Because these other human beings are mascots for the left. That's all they are. Mascots. The means to political gamesmanship. Marty in Naperville.
Hi, good show, Amy. I got to ask you. You would die before you'd separate your kids from your kids. These people, who are these people doing this? What kind of a person knows? And don't tell me they don't know that this is going to happen. And as one of the callers said before, or as Dan said also, you can't arrest me. I've got children. That's what this is all about. Nobody wants to give everything is Donald Trump and the Republicans' fault on this. Nothing is being said about these parents who are actually putting their kids in this position.
Thanks, Marty.
I would never put my kids in that position.
They may have to if you continue assaulting Uber drivers. You may be separated. Sean in Elmwood Park.
If they're 4 and younger, put them with their mom and dad. Come on.
In prison?
4.98. That's all I got to say, Amy. Listen, and don't worry about your mother's landscaper. I got a cigar says he'll be able to hand deliver the June bill. Here's the thing that I wanted to say on Sunday shows.
If he comes back,
Sunday shows are all the Democrat apparatchiks, all the socialists and communists. What would God do? Did you hear what the Pope said? Have you no religion? Now they want to mention religion. But what all the moms that are on their way to Planned Parenthood to dismember their babies this morning, I get the bill for that. Right? That's okay to separate the mothers from the babies there. But when they make the decision as adults to risk what they know is wrong and what they know could happen, then I got to get the bill for that too. I'm pro-choice. on the immigrant deciding to risk separation from his kid. What do you think about that? We got to start using their language. I'm pro-choice on the decision of the immigrant to risk losing the kid. There you go. Just give me the bill either way. I got it.
Thanks, Sean.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
When you conceal carry, you want to carry responsibly, safely, and with confidence. You want UltiClip. UltiClip was designed out of necessity. Traditional holster clips fail in performance, losing their retention or breaking. With UltiClip, you get the ultimate carry solution that replaces standard holster clips and features a smaller visible footprint than other clips. The patented design gains over 10 times the holster retention for better security and maximum concealment. Plus, UltiClip features the first multi-purpose tool and clip combo. And UltiClip isn't just for holsters. It can also be used for knife sheaths. Police departments are using UltiClip to secure their body cameras, badges, and other equipment. Stop wasting money searching for the right holster when you can upgrade and improve your current holster with UltiClip. Proudly made in the USA from spring steel and named Gear of the Year by Gun Digest. Go to ulticlip.com to shop and learn more about ways you can use the best retention clip available. That's ULTIClip.com. Ulticlip.com for ultimate retention and concealment.
Hey, I've told you how the MyPillow mattress topper has 3 unique layers of comfort, evenly supports your body weight, helps relieve those pressure points, and keeps your body temperature regulated all night, not too cold or too hot. And don't wait to get yours, because in June, you'll save 30% plus when you buy that mattress topper at a discount. You'll also get 2 free standard MyPillows. It's an unbelievable offer. 2 standard MyPillows free and 30% off a mattress topper. Or get 1 low price on 2 MyPillows and receive free shipping, but you have to use the promo code Amy. Now, there's a 10-year warranty on pillows and mattress toppers and a 60-day money-back guarantee. So go online or call now for these great deals and others, including 30% off pet beds. There are those sheets. I have Egyptian cotton sheets. I can't tell the difference between them, and I actually like my MyPillow sheets better.
What's the thread count?
I don't know what the thread. It's a different kind of. It's a bamboo blend.
Okay.
I'll bring them in tomorrow. But they're more comfortable than my expensive sheets with 600 count. Anyway, call 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201. Or go to mypillow.com. Promo code Amy.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I went to have my blood test done a few weeks ago, and I met the doctor, and he was really encouraged by my progress, and I showed him what I was taking, and he started looking at all the ingredients, and he said, I'm really impressed with the shiitake mushroom. And he said, this stuff, it could clean out your arteries. And I'm like, oh, wow. He said, you may be onto something here. And he said, you just keep that up, and maybe you can start cutting back on your medication. And he says, you're helping your health by doing that. I'm like, whoa, endorsement by the doctor.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. Insubordination, indifference, intimidated by Hillary's lawyers, improper gifts, lack of impartiality. The IG's report makes Democrats' dreams of a Trump impeachment inconceivable. So complete is the Trump vindication that the left has regressed back to trying to figure out whether or not they're supposed to like Jim Comey. Trump should press his advantage here by consummating his anti-ruling class value proposition. The public doesn't want the FBI or DOJ to go away. They just don't want the senior leadership of those agencies to be conniving political operatives who believe themselves to be above the law. Both are headed by Trump appointees now. The president should make a very public play to take a very active role in working with Christopher Wray and Jeff Sessions, or replacing them if need be, to make the personnel and policy changes necessary for culture change and credibility restoration. Much of the positive disruption President Trump has brought to the Beltway has been through simply doing what he said he would do as candidate Trump. It confounds the men and women of always. Trump ran as a law and order candidate. The FBI and DOJ are instrumental institutions to the rule of law and public order in America. Trump would bedevil his critics once again if he chose this moment to be an institutional rebuilder.
Hey, nothing says summer like the smell of a grill, a delicious handcrafted burger, and a cold beer or cocktail.
The Country House has been providing just that for over 40 years. Their 3 great locations in Lisle, Clarendon Hills, and Geneva offers great hospitality in a casual neighborhood setting. Try their award-winning Country Burger, half pound of fresh chuck, grilled to perfection and served on dark rye. Country House has several other choices for burgers like bison, elk, turkey, and veggie, and their top drawer burger blends short rib, chuck, and brisket for an unmatched taste. Take your time looking over the daily specials while you enjoy the spacious deck in Geneva or hang out on the patio in Lisle. And don't forget to join the House Rewards program at Country House and earn points while you dine. All new signups will be entered into a drawing for tickets to see the Northsiders versus the Southsiders. Country House. Visit burger1.com. That's burgerone.com.
AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
The greatest negotiating tactic in the history of the world. We're going to ask Trump whisperer and Dilbert cartoon creator Scott Adams if you'd like to provide some context to that comment about President Trump and his meeting with Kim Jong-un. That's at 8:38.
And later, check your ego at the door. Namaste. We'll explain. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Sunshine, 80 degrees. Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen says there's no policy of separating families at the border. Nielsen saying Sunday there's been a misrepresentation from the media and some advocacy groups about what's going on. Manuel Padilla, Border Patrol Sector Chief at the Central Processing Station at McAllen, Texas, backed that up, talking to reporters this weekend.
There is no separation process. As they go through the judicial process, they are temporarily separated.
Attorney General Jeff Sessions says there's a zero-tolerance policy for people illegally crossing the border, including separating children from their families. Representative Trey Gowdy upset by the IG's report into the Hillary Clinton email investigation.
The same team that exonerated her implicated him before the investigation began, and I suspect some members will ask about the coziness between the FBI and the media.
Fox News Sunday, South Carolina Republican criticizing the FBI for being what he called biased in their handling of the Clinton probe. Emergency responders ordering a mandatory evacuations of many parts of Princeton, Indiana, after a train derailed nearby, setting several train cars on fire. CSX saying the preliminary report shows a release from a rail car carrying propane. This is happening near Evansville in southwest Indiana. Chicago police are investigating after 3 men and a woman were shot in the Little Village neighborhood. Authorities say the group was standing on the street last night in the 2200 block of South Sacramento when someone walked up and opened fire. Authorities are searching for a driver involved in a hit-and-run crash that killed a 9-year-old boy and injured his mother and sibling in Burbank. The driver, driving a gray four-door vehicle, according to police, took off after the incident. Cardinals blanked the Cubs 5-0 at Busch. Tigers took down the White Sox 3-1 in Chicago. NBA draft Thursday in Brooklyn. The Bulls have the number 7 pick overall. The news, a service of Lowe's. Shop Lowe's and save on top power tools like a Porter Cable 20-volt max lithium-ion combo kit, just $99. All projects have a starting point. Start with Lowe's. Offer valid through 6/20 while supplies last. See store for details. 8:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher believes Trump just got reelected.
On behalf of Chairman Kim and myself, we're both very honored to sign the document. Thank you.
President just got reelected. The President of the United States just took a huge step towards guaranteeing his 2020 reelection with this historic, epic, unprecedented, unheard of summit.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, a family tradition since 1897.
You are a hero. You may not fight killer robots, but a crabby toddler can be a formidable foe. Luckily, you're armed with a Chrysler Pacifica. Its best-in-class Uconnect theater can defeat any temper tantrum. And when cargo space is in danger, Pacifica's trusty class-exclusive Stow and Go always comes to the rescue. Get a great deal at the Chrysler Incredible Sales Event.
Available feature based on the FCA US LLC Premium Minivan segment. Chrysler and Uconnect are registered trademarks of FCA US LLC.
Save more with Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Hey, Todd, Liberty Mutual just saved me $782.
Liberty did what?
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Maybe I should switch to Liberty Mutual.
Visit us online to... Hey, stop echoing.
Sorry.
Visit us online to get a quote, and you could save $782. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide new customer survey, coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company, Equal Housing Insurer.
8:36. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. We're seeing delays on the Kennedy inbound from Montrose to Randolph. It's 58 minutes now from O'Hare to downtown, 46 from Montrose, 40 in the Express. Outbound 15 minutes to Montrose and 35 to the airport. Eden's 19 minutes like Cook Junction, outbound 33. Got Eisenhower, an hour and 4 minutes from 390 to downtown. It's 37 minutes from Manheim, outbound 56 minutes to 390. Stevenson, an hour and 10 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 38 minutes. Ryan is 40 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tri-State southbound slow Washington to Bradley and Dempster to the Bensonville Bridge. Northbound Southwest Highway to 31st and from the Reagan Tollway to Balmoral. But Adams Tollway tight lead to the Tri-State. Veterans Memorial southbound delays from Army Trail to Roosevelt. Northbound I-55 to St. Charles and North Avenue to 290. Traffic answers when you need them most. Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Very hot and humid today. An afternoon thunderstorm possible as a cold front drifts across the area, triggering storms. High 93. Those storms continue into the evening hours. It could bring some flooding and damaging winds, a low of 65. Currently 80. Next news coming up at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Don't forget that you can watch Chicago's Morning Answer on the Income Store live video stream every morning at 560theanswer.com.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues now. And make sure to stay tuned to catch me, Mike Gallagher, coming up at 9, only on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Over the weekend, Steve Bannon made an appearance. He popped up on This Week, sat down for an interview with Jonathan Karl, and made a bold prediction about the midterms, even though he doesn't speak to Trump any longer. He doesn't need to.
The president, of course, you alluded to it, called you Sloppy Steve. He said that when you got fired, you not only lost your job, you lost your mind. Right. Have you patched things up with the president? When was the last time you spoke to him?
By the way, before I stepped in as CEO of the campaign, I probably talked to Donald Trump 10 times in my entire life. Yeah. Okay? I don't need to talk to Donald Trump. Donald Trump Donald Trump is accomplishing everything he committed to the American people on the campaign that I stepped in as CEO. I couldn't be prouder of the guy. All he's got to do is continue to hit those marks on that whiteboard, and he's going to run the tables. You're not going to do an immigration bill from weakness. Are you talking to him, though, or are you? No. Well, by the way, I talk every day through the press and through the media. By the way, he's got too many guys he talks to right now. All he's got to do is listen to his own inner voice, and that's going to lead. Write this down. That's going to lead to a astounding victory in November. He is going to run the tables in the House.
I don't know. I don't think he's over him yet. I mean, I think there's a little.
Well, he's pretty excited about the performance so far, though. He just needs to listen to his inner self and continue doing what he's doing, and he's going to confound the critics and the naysayers yet again. For more on this topic, we'll see if he agrees. We're pleased to be joined again by our friend, Scott Adams, who is, of course, the Dilbert cartoon creator and the Trump whisperer. He's the author of the book, Win Bigly, Persuasion in a World Where Facts Don't Matter. Scott, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
So what do you think about Bannon's bold prediction there?
Well, I've predicted that the midterms will be better for the Republicans than whatever anybody thought at the start of this year. But whether or not they run the table, that does seem like a bold prediction. Not impossible, but I'd say that's a stretch goal at this point.
I mean, in terms of just you run the table, I don't know exactly what Bannon meant there. I think he just meant keep the House. Are you willing to make that bold a prediction, and if so, why?
I think you have to be sort of a closer to the individual races because there's a lot that has to do with the matchups and the individual situations, and I think I would just go with the experts that there's always an impulse for the party out of power to pick up some seats, but man, they're swimming upstream against a lot of success from this president. So I would expect something closer to no change than a sea change.
Now, recently, it seems like it was a long time ago, but it was just last week that President Trump made history when he sat down with Kim Jong-un, and they played this video from Destiny Productions that's saying what life would be like in North Korea if they just denuclearized. And you said it was quite possibly the best thing you've ever seen. Can you further explain why?
Yeah, the basic problem that people made when looking at it is to assume that they individually were the audience. And the audience was just one person. There was only one person in the world who mattered. And presumably they looked into what kinds of images, what kinds of presentation would be culturally and individually effective. Now, when I looked at it, the actual construction of the video looked so amazingly well done in terms of being persuasive in a positive way, meaning encouraging North Korea to see the two options, the horrible one of war and the really good one, being our friend. And so I think it really went a long way, especially because there's a language barrier between the president and Kim Jong-un. So to turn that visual and make it unforgettable, I think was a very effective thing to do, even if it looked corny to our jaded Western eyes.
Yes, exactly. So I'm one of those with jaded Western eyes. I thought it was just sort of, I thought it was, it's interesting, but I just found it, isn't it overly simplistic when you're talking about the geopolitics of a nuclear North Korea?
Nope. One of the interesting things about persuasion is that somebody can see exactly what you're doing and it still works. And that's the reason that all marketing works. It's the reason that all salesmanship works. When you go into the car dealer, you are fully aware of every trick they're using, and it still works. When you look at any company marketing, you say, "Oh, look what they're doing. I know what they're trying to manipulate me," and it still works. So this is another one of those cases. The visual images are so powerful that they just push other things out of your head, and this was super visual. It hit every note that they needed to hit. So even if it looked like it was way over the top, that doesn't have any effect on its how useful it is. So our reaction to it is wholly different from how effective it is.
Yeah, and I honestly think that Kim Jong-un, President Trump said that when they played it on the iPad for him, his eyes lit up and he seemed receptive. Because I think he wants his country in a way to be Americanized, to have the water parks and he wants
to go to Disneyland.
Disney. Well, yeah, they showed him possible amusement park and an automotive manufacturing line for cars and computers because there's a lot there, and then not to mention the oceanfront property.
Yeah, I think the biggest story was the one that's unreported, which is people are saying, hey, the president left there without anything and we gave up, the war games, or we gave up giving him the meeting that he got a lot of respect. And I think the biggest story is missing, which is the president went there with Kim Jong-un having something like a reason to nuke us, and when he left, there was no reason anymore. He took away the reason. Now, if you're worried about how it goes from here, I would say it's pretty good news that North Korea no longer has a reason. And if we continue to not act aggressive toward them, I would expect we'll get a good result. It's going to be a bumpy road. We would expect that they may not be 100% forthcoming, but if we keep at it, and at the same time, there's just no reason for them to see us as an enemy. And that video went a long way towards saying, look, being our friend is a really good deal, and here's the offer. We'd rather be friends. That's a really powerful message. And taking the reason away from a country, I don't know we've ever seen that before, have we?
No, not quite in that way. Not with a video. Not with a movie trailer. We haven't seen
In a
it
world
before.
gone mad.
Let me ask you. I'm sorry.
But
Go
take,
ahead.
for example, Iran. If we tried to take away their reason, we couldn't, because they may have deep-seated hatred for Israel and there may be religious motivations. But North Korea was unique. It was a psychological problem where they thought we wanted to attack them. We thought they wanted to attack us. And the best psychological operator in the world, that's what I call Trump, went in and solved a problem that was almost designed for him. It was like he was born for that problem. It was purely psychological, and he just removed it. And the parts that happened after this, of course, are hard and unknown, the actual removal of the weapons. But he did the tough part, which is he changed minds, I'm sure.
What about on the psychological front in terms of shifting the balance of power or leverage with respect to that Inspector General report on Friday? Kind of good news, bad news. The bad news is it confirms that you had sort of political operatives masquerading as leaders in the FBI and the Department of Justice. The good news is that it vindicates a lot of what Trump has done so far and said about the senior leadership of both of those agencies, and gives him, frankly, newfound standing, I believe.
Well, there's several things I would lump together. The OIG report, climate change, trade agreements, and a few other things. And they have this quality where they're complicated enough and the public doesn't really understand all of the variables that it allows them to see whatever the heck they wanted to see, ahead of time. So when you're seeing the two reactions to the OIG report from, it vindicates the president entirely, to well, no, that was a big nothing. There's nothing there. Didn't change a thing. And I kind of felt the latter. I felt like it did give us a sense of the feelings that the FBI people had, but I'm not sure that was any different than we imagined. So it didn't seem like a lot changed.
But I mean, it's one thing for people in a partisan context to be saying, and it's another thing for a 568-page report from someone who is perceived and I think respected from both sides as independent in the Michael Horowitz, the Inspector General, to provide the painstaking details that support what we kind of already suspected was true.
Yeah, it gives you some comfort that you understand the situation, but there's still enough gray there that people can see it any way they want. So I'm not sure it moved the needle in any direction at all, but it did help us understand that we know what people were thinking at the time.
Wanted to get your take on what's going on right now along our borders in El Paso and Brownsville, Texas, children being separated from their families. President Trump's blaming the Democrats. The Democrats are blaming President Trump. Is this just another way for Democrats to pile on to President Trump, or do you think he should change the zero-tolerance policy?
Well, on the political level, it's just a home run for the anti-Trump team, and it's a disaster for the Trump administration. So there's no question about who's winning the political part of that right now. But there is a big part in the reality part. There's a lot of magical thinking going on because nobody wants to deal with the central issue, which is if you make things really comfortable for people coming in, there will be more of them. Now, that's the point that should be debated because the objective from all sides, I believe, is to have less of what we're seeing. Fewer people in the so-called cages, fewer people coming across in dire straits. But the real issue is if you make it easy for everybody in the short run, which our humanitarian impulses are all really in the same side. There's nobody on the other side. Nobody wants kids in cages. Nobody wants children separated from adults unless there's just no other choice. And when you see this debate, it looks like a phony debate to me because nobody is laying out the alternative case, which is, all right, let's let people go, or do they push them across the border as a family? I don't believe anybody has even described what the alternative is and also connected the dots to, if we do this, what's that look like in the long run? Does it make it worse or better? Do we encourage more people to come up here or not? And until you've dealt with it on sort of an adult level, I don't know how you can get any help. But let me say as clearly as possible, This is a complete breakdown of government effectiveness that is both Democrats and Republicans and the White House. This is a complete, breakdown, not just in the political sense, but in the reality sense that we're having this conversation, and nobody is talking about it like an adult.
Well,
we haven't even gotten to the adult level of conversation about this. It's just children in cages, and guess what? 100% of the people are on the same side of that. Nobody wants that. That part is horrible.
Yeah, but so this is longstanding, and to your point before about marketing working, I know what you're doing, but it works anyway. The emotional manipulation here, and there's a reason we've been on this hamster wheel on immigration for so long. Is that certainly the left in this case, and sometimes Republicans as well, are more interested in using people as mascots for particular political gain than they are in addressing, a structural infirmity in a system.
Yeah, I've suggested, at least as an idea, one way to make things a little bit better and fairly quickly, which is if there's some way to electronically connect the parents to the kids, so at least they could talk to them or see them. And that might be a case of, a few iPads in the right places, because there are probably maybe fewer than 10 facilities where the kids and the adults might be. So, 20 iPads or something in that nature would get everybody a chance to at least see that their child is well cared for, that parents can see the adults. They can say, hey, I'll see you. We hope to see you in a few days, or whatever it turns out to be. So there's a psychological part of this that's the bad part, which is wholly separate from the fact that people are, their freedom is taken away temporarily, and they're in these big cage-like containers. And by the way, the cage part is mostly just the first part where they're taken from the dangerous trip, which is bad enough. The getting here is dangerous and had to be horrible, to they put them in temporary facilities which are more cage-like in the sense that it's like a mass prison. But the idea is to get them out of there as quickly as possible to separate the adults and the men and the women and whatever you have to do for safety.
Right.
So all the fine people who are doing these jobs, who I hear are just great professionals with all the right intentions, they've got a tough job, and there's no right way to do this that the public is also going to be happy with, given the facilities that they have. So certainly I'd love to hear a better idea. I think we could immediately get the parents in better conversations or more frequent contact with the kids, and especially seeing them. I don't think a phone call quite does it. But there might be some ways to immediately make it easier. But who has the better idea about the short-term fix that doesn't make it worse in the long term? And who can even say those two things out loud? And who else besides me said what I just said, which is the short-term fix might make the long-term worse? How do we get a short-term fix that doesn't make it worse?
Mm-hmm.
Who's even asking that question? I mean, doesn't that outrage you that our government is so ineffective that neither side is even giving us the adult version of what's going on?
No, that's right. Actually, we've asked that question and debated it around on this show many times, including earlier in the show. But that is the right question, and it's an interesting idea with the iPads. That seems perfectly sensible to me. Scott Adams, Dilbert cartoon creator and Trump whisperer, author of the book Win Bigly, Persuasion in a World Where Facts Don't Matter. Scott, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
For years, you've heard of St. John's Northwestern Military Academy, serving young men with an outstanding education and preparation for life. Now that same experience is available for your daughter. With summer vacation right around the corner, now is a great time to register your son or daughter for summer camp at St. John's Northwestern Military Academy in the beautiful region of southeast Wisconsin. It's a time to refocus from the distractions of life and explore the potentials in many areas of life. There's Camp St. John's Northwestern with 4 one-week sessions of outdoor activities for 10 to 16-year-olds and summer school for 5 weeks to recover credits or get ahead for full credit. Limited registration for co-ed summer camp is happening now, as well as the year-round school application process. Hurry, space is limited. For more information, call 1-800-SJ-CADET. That's 1-800-SJ-CADET. Or visit their website, sjnma.org. That's sjnma.org.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I was diagnosed with congestive heart failure. I went from being able to work 14, 16 hours a day with no problem to where I could barely walk a block to the store. I went on to the phytonutrients about 6 months ago, and within a couple of months, my medical doctor had cut my prescriptions down in a little bit smaller dosage. The next time I went back a month later, I walked into the doctor's office and he says, "My gosh, what's happened to you? You don't even look like the same person." He looked at my legs and the swelling had gone down. My blood pressure was down. The venous stasis ulcers that I had had on my legs for the last 4 or 5 years because of the poor circulation were all healed, and I'm feeling far better.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
A good parking lot is essential to a good building and a good business.
This is Kevin Berquist. My company is SKC Construction, home of GreatParkingLots.com. Great parking lots. The name says it all. We make your parking lot great. We are an industry leader in seal coating. You can trust our company to do the work for your company. We have the same traditional values as you. We use a process and application that makes sure you get a great job that lasts a long time. I guarantee you'll have a good experience. Check it out, GreatParkingLots.com.
Go to GreatParkingLots.com. Schedule a free inspection and get a quote to make your parking lot a great parking lot. Special early season discounts if you act now. Save the expense. Fix, don't replace. Contact SKC Construction now for commercial parking lot seal coating and maintenance. SKC Construction, home of GreatParkingLots.com. GreatParkingLots.com.
What if you could enjoy total peace of mind when it comes to home security? What if the best technology came from a local company who puts the customer's needs first? Alarm Detection Systems is the right choice for an alarm system with complete control from your phone or tablet. Know when your children arrive home from school. View live streaming video. Check up on your pets. Receive alerts for extreme temperatures. Know if leaks or floods have been detected. Get real-time text alerts sent to your phone. Family-owned and operated since 1968, Alarm Detection Systems understands that nothing is more important than the safety of your family. Your security system will be monitored by our central station in Aurora, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Alarm Detection Systems is an authorized Honeywell equipment dealer. Our on-site security consultation is always free. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6322. That's 630-844-6322. Alarm license number 127000143.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly. I was reading an article the other day that the average American homeowner has over $16,000 in high interest rate credit card debt. Every morning you wake up and you work so hard to get ahead, but by the end of the month, you're just barely getting by. Then when things pop up like new tires, medical bills, school supplies, a laptop, it ends up on the credit cards. Well, the good news is if you're a homeowner, there's never been a better time to do a cash out refinance. Your home is going up in value quicker than it has over the last 10 years. And mortgage rates are still near these all-time low levels. Cash out loans are some of our favorites. Honestly, they really are, because those are the ones that make the greatest impact in a person's financial situation. Those are the loans where we're saving people $500, $1,000, even $2,000 a month. If you do have some credit cards, write them down. Get an idea of how high the balances are, how high the interest rates are, and then apply for a cash-out refinance today at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert, LLC, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee.
Your local 1-hour heating and air conditioning knows how miserable it feels when your AC goes out. You want it fixed fast, fixed right, and get a fast quote. Unlike some companies, we don't give you a quote until we actually see what the problem is. Then we'll give you our straightforward price and always stand by our work. Right now, get savings on any AC repair. Call 855-1-HOUR.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1 hour.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.